I can't lie to you.
You lied to me.
I didn't lie to you.
Trying
It's
to beat out
live.
the fake. Did we start?
I would never.
Did we start? Did we start?
I honestly want to know if we started.
You know what? You'll never know. You'll never know. This is your burden. All right, so now we have started. We are playing some Dungeons and Dragons today. We're continuing the ongoing campaign of the Dawnforged company. They have recently been experiencing a memory vision quest sort of thing that goes through the Feywild as some unseelie nights on an unseelie task. And we are actually coming up to the morning after they're waking up. So there's going to be a little bit of description on like how that ended and everything, but we'll do that once we get to the story. Now, we're going to be kicking off the story tonight, the night before they fell asleep, just because due to some hand-wavy nonsense by me, I accidentally didn't give them the chance to finish that night. So I'd like to give them that chance now. And so we're going to start there and then kind of move on. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and boost up the audio just a little bit.
So this is some things that have happened before the vision quest, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Anything? If you guys have anything you wanted to do before the vision quest, we're gonna go ahead and start there. Who would like to get us kicked off so I can kind of intro it? I assume Uza then. Okay, perfect. All right. So Uza, you've seen Bloodscale. He's just munched down on this disgusting thing that you almost threw up from. It smelled so bad, and then he just closes his eyes and he leans back and he just falls heavily into his cot, and you are surrounded by stuff and nonsense that have come out of the bag of holding.
Huh. He's gonna be out for a minute. So much shiny. So much potential. No, it's fine. I'm going to... It'll probably be fine in here. I'm gonna leave the stuff, and I'm gonna go over to Zephyr and Mesnos' room.
Perfect.
Oh, and I'm pulling out all the paints and stuff and the couple of dyes that I have left over, and I'm kind of just making a little swatch of it real quick as I walk over there.
Perfect. And then, so as they're headed over to your room, Zephyr, did you want to do anything else that we hadn't done before with that scene?
They were just laying down.
Perfect.
And Mesnos is out.
That's right. I forgot Mesnos. And so you hear you hear a small rap on the door, and Mesnos doesn't seem to move as he is just completely unconscious at this point.
Sigh, and I get up and I crack the door open.
Oh, hey Zephyr. I just needed to see Mesnos real quick. Can I just like 2 seconds? I don't need to like talk to him. I just need to see him.
He's sleeping.
I understand that. Like I'm quiet. I just need to see him.
Okay. And I just like walk the door open and then I go lay down again.
Perfect.
I am going to use my swatches to try and get a good match on his skin color.
Perfect.
And then also, and I'm being very obvious about that.
Yeah.
I
and
don't
I'm also
see
getting,
it.
and I'm also getting a good
Not
look
looking.
at his. Oh, I'm mumbling to myself. Oh, is this? No, too much blue. More of a purple. More of a purple. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. How long is this horn? Okay. Measure. Okay. Write down my measurements. Okay.
I told you didn't have to do that.
Huh? Oh no, I know. And then. Okay. So and then. Okay. All right. Thanks, Zephyr. Good night.
Just. Good night.
And I leave and I quietly close the door and I go back to count my stuff.
Perfect. Can you do a calligraphy tools check for me?
Sure. I'm not actually painting it now.
No, just
okay.
Flavor check.
Crap. Sorry.
The delicious flavor.
Tasty, baby.
Heroes Feast.
Come on, roll 20, catch up.
It'll get here when it gets you.
My card talk.
Jesus.
There we go.
All these spells
Perfect.
are 1,000
Yeah.
GP.
You you match it perfectly, and you also, while you were there, you only intended to do a little bit, but you actually got a nice sketching of the face really quickly, and looking at it, you're like, wow, I actually got a way better reference. I'm getting pretty good at this. As you head back to your room.
Wait. People are gonna love this. I need to count that stuff. And then I go count, and then I'll go to sleep right afterwards. I want to be rested before I paint.
Okay. Perfect. So you go ahead and take a nap, and then did anybody else have anything they wanted to do that night before?
I fell asleep immediately.
Perfect. And you get your usual silence cast over your snores, and then that's what his little buddy Faf does. And then so with that, you guys all find your sleep, and then as you guys are all falling asleep, you hear these gentle footsteps walking past, just up and down the hall, not just one time, back and forth. But as you all fall asleep, you feel yourself shifted into the dream under the characters that you guys were playing during the one-off. And so as you guys are pulled to it, you guys are seeing the flashes forward of the, the task given, the reasons why, the discovering of what happens along the way, dealing with the hag, and then the fight with the Sky Seeker finally. And then you're after downing the Sky Seer, you guys start making your way quickly back to the unseelie side of the Feywild. And the storm that had followed the Sky Swimmer all around is quickly dissipating, and it seems to be going out of... just completely out, as if snuffed out like a candle. On the way back, you see that there is no... there's no dust devils left over, and even the flattened grass and trees that have been whipped out are already starting to lean forward and back in and recover from the effect that was given by the Sky Swimmer. And then as you're running, you notice behind you there seems to be just a flicker of movement, barely caught by the Forest Knight's eyes. And then so you guys start moving quicker and quicker back towards the unseelie side of things and catch just this barest sight of Eladrin, a cadre of Eladrin following you with the Starcatcher leading them, seemingly one step behind you as you're trying to make your way out. Pavix quickly takes to the sky and tries to scout ahead quickly while you're running, and then eventually he leads you quickly and easily back to the bridge that you took before. Halfway across the bridge, vines seem to come alive and ensnare all of you, grabbing and holding you in place. Blaze Knight quickly burns through it as he just throws fire at the ground, while the Squall Knight freezes the vines and breaks off, running with barely slowing. The Undying Prince simply stops for a second, touches the vines, and they wither away. The Twister Knight invokes her double and slices, spinning away from the trap. The form readying and following her, sticking out of her back, ready to fight any of the Eladrin if they get closer. It even manages to deflect a few arrows that are coming in. The Forest Knight simply reaches out, and as everybody starts to run away, he just quickly, being at the front, as they come to him, he just touches them and teleports them to the other side of the bridge using the unseen pathways, and then takes this final step himself, leaving them the entire length of the bridge behind, as they know they will not be followed into the unseelie side. From there, the trek is an easier one. Everything seems to kind of fall into place. You know the way back, and the unseelie on this side know their queen and knows not to get in your way, being the knights. You are seemingly almost called back by the Feywild itself, back to the Queen of Air and Darkness. And as you walk into this palace growing from the grounds, kind of twisted and more of like a dark blackened Corinthian almost, made of these stone pillars of this onyx looking substance, and each of it is carved columns, but also ending in kind of wicked curves here and there. And as you walk in, it gets darker and darker, and then just a light wind seems to constantly be encircling you, as if you're on your own little tornado. And as you walk through the court, there are many hags and different Fomorians, these another twisted fey, some quicklings darting back and forth, doing random tasks, cleaning up the place, and they're very hard to catch, to even see what they're doing. But as you make your way in, the giant doors in front of you open, and you're welcomed into the court of the Unseelie Queen. It is very much unlike the Seelie Court. The entire thing is filled with tables and seats, and there's everybody sitting around. There's laughing, there's joking, there is wine spilling out of people as they get into small fights here and there. You see somebody stand up and start to yell, and then you see a hag look over and turn him into a toad, and everybody laughs. And then you make your way up to the queen, and she stands, and as she stands, the entire place goes dead silent. You see everybody stand at once, and all of the tables are gone as if they were never there. And they form a half-moon circle around you, all giving their attention as if pulled to the queen. She smiles.
Right. As if pulled to what?
To the queen.
Oh, cool.
She smiles. You have served your queen well. Those interested may stay in the great rewards that are yet to come. But you may decide whether to stay. Go. And the last word drips with contempt. The first one to step forward is the Forest Knight. He walks forward but does not bow. Just a small nod. And he takes... just with a small nod, his arms still full with 2 giant tortoise... dragon turtle eggs. Says, I have finished your task, but the business is not finished. He nods to the eggs. May you find the peace you offer others. And he walks out. The crowd parts as he walks completely out of the court. His footsteps the only sound as he leaves. The Squall Knight comes up next. And she bows deeply, kneeling almost all the way to the floor. She pulls out both rapiers and sets them before her, and touches her head to them on the ground, and says, I, as always, serve my queen. And then she gets up, sheaths her weapons, and takes her place, sitting near the queen. Not right next to her, but on the side of the court. Next, the Blaze Knight walks forward, and he squares off with her, shoulders unbowed, and for a second it looks like he's going to go for his blade. Yet he leaves it sheathed. He gives her a very formal bow, and leaves. As he leaves, small flames trace every step out. And he seems almost consumed with fire. She reaches out, twists her hand, and he's gone. Lastly, the Twister Knight steps forward. Face to face with her queen, she leans in and whispers something. The queen looks furious for just a second, and then sad. She whispers something back, and you can see the form of the Twister Knight reel with shock. Then, without hesitation, she pulls her sword and cuts her own throat. Soon after, Odra Winespring, the Undying Prince, walks up. Lifespring, sorry. I put Winespring.
Yeah, got him.
The Undying Prince comes and kneels before his queen, and as he kneels, he reaches down and flips the helmet off of the Twister Knight. Underneath is an Eldrin, just like him. He presses his finger against her forehead, and her hair the white of the winter, brushed out, and her wounds close. I can still make use of this one. You would allow her service to continue in my care. Instead of yours, I would welcome a guard such as her. For a second, there is a flash of confusion and a little bit of anger across the queen's face, but it's quickly replaced by a smile. Very well, but this form is no longer suited for her. Another Twister Knight will rise to replace her. She waves her hand, and the suit of armor is gone, and the skin of the Eldrin begins to harden and thicken, turning into a bark, as her hair spirals together and forms long blades of grass and leaves. She says, Plant her, but you will make your keep, and she will guard it well. Looking down at what used to be the Twister Knight, you see her... You see a single tear fall from the Twister Knight's eyes as her queen continues to speak. Your life as a knight is over. You are dead and forgotten. You are reborn as Odrisia Undying, and you will serve your prince. Guard his estate with your life. Do not fail him as you have failed me. Never forget that you are a shadow of what could have been. And then she turns back to the Undying Prince. As for you, my young prince, choose your estate anywhere in the Unseelie grounds and build it well. And I look forward to a taste of the wine you will make. And she smiles, and then as she sits back down, the tables burst back out of the floor, and there's cheers and laughter and clapping as the vision fades.
As the vision cuts out.
The vision fades. Freaking snap, crackle, and pop. As the sounds of nature slowly
You're
replace. Am I really? Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. Check one thing.
Well, now you're
Checking
fine.
things on the stream.
Always try moving to Discord.
You could always try moving Discord. It's also microphone.
Okay. Let's try that. Alrighty then. And there's a okay, perfect. So, as the
Place up in this book.
as the vision fades, the sound of the forest mourning slowly reaches your ears. And Bloodscale, your eyes snap open.
Yeah.
You look around the room. A light fog hangs at the ceiling of the room, and vines have grown across the walls and are reaching the ceiling. They seem to have grown out from under you as you've slept. You look around, seeing that you're the center of all of these vines that have grown out. You even look over and see Uza is covered with vines that are holding him in place, growing around him as he slept. Thoughts are fuzzy and disconnected, and you're trying to remember things as the vision is quickly fading, and you go to wipe your mouth instinctively, as you do many mornings, and you hear a sizzle and see a burn mark grow on your sleeve.
That's not good.
Oh, dang.
Acid.
That's what you get for doing acid.
As you...
Well, it is a slight for a slight, you see.
Uza, as you wake up, your eyes shoot open and you look over and you see Bloodscale kind of staring at you. His eyes silver, but with just a streak of green just barely fading over the top of it. You go to say something, and a vine has grown over your mouth, holding it shut. Your eyes start quickly around the room, but not in panic. You're analyzing it, seeking threats, identifying a way to escape, marking where anything that a weapon could be lies.
I'm gonna cut out my right hand. With
Make a
the
strength check to
dagger
break. You are completely covered in that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. With my -1. Sweet.
And you see Uza, you see his eyes open, and he kind of looks at you, and then he...
Little herb.
I'm just gonna sleepily walk over there and just move vines.
Perfect. Strength check.
That's a save.
Let's see, -8. What's your strength modifier? Oh, that'll work. You had it anyway, so perfect. And so you walk over, and then you just kind of reach out, and you grab the vines on each side of him, and you just break it open like it's a mummy. And he just rips pretty easily as you go open, and then you just flip the last one off of his mouth.
So 4 things.
Back of my
One.
throat burns. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like indigestion, but worse.
like your eyes are green.
Ish.
Oh.
Green's new. Hint of green. Like
Okay, hold on. Give me
Hazel?
a second. Give me a sec.
There hazel
Switch them to
dragon?
blue.
He switches them. You go to switch them to blue. And then when you open your eyes, they are still silver. A touch of green.
Yeah, silver with a little bit of green there.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, I mean...
Let's see if Chanoth can help. Yeah.
Again, the
tried.
same.
I'm gonna have to have a talk with some boys.
Talk with them boys.
You, they're not helping you out in there anymore? A little quiet?
I'm sure they are, but there's something else there at the moment.
Wonder if it's related to that dream that I had.
What?
I had a really fucking weird dream. I don't like the Feywild.
Explain it in detail.
So
I'll see you guys next session.
But... I'll keep this one short. So I was me, but I wasn't me because I could like be me, but I couldn't fly, and I was like on fire, and I was like a big dude, and I was like, I need to go home and fucking conquer people, which is weird. And I had this bird who was pretty cool, and then we killed a big sky snake. I gotta stop eating chocolate before bedtime.
Bloodscale's face just hardens.
That's a weird.
And his
You're not
eyes
gonna
just
put acid on me,
grow
are you?
narrow.
I don't know what you're doing.
And
I
then we'll
counted
cut
your
to...
bag of holding.
Who's
there
that?
we go.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Oh, thanks. Why are you
So,
freaking out over this? Did you have a bad
face,
dream too?
face still hard, eyes still a bit narrow, but he's actively trying to not look obviously pissed off. But it's terribly obvious.
Do a deception check at disadvantage.
I was gonna say, can I do an insight check to see if he's knows more than what he's letting on?
Sure.
He's not
Yeah.
very deceptive.
He's not. You can tell he is definitely pissed, but you can tell he's trying not to direct it at you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna poke that bear. Here's your list of bag of holding stuff. I made 2, one for you and one for the group. I made yours, the text a little bit bigger. And
Appreciate that.
Zephyr's like really mad at me. But you know, so business as usual. And then these vines are like. Do you think the vines gave us the bad dreams?
I think I know about the vines. I wouldn't worry about them right now.
Vines.
And I'm just
Okay.
scanning over the list briefly.
Okay. And then,
then,
I did not, just for Deadpool, I did not take anything out of it.
Perfect. You see the list. It is complete in very much detail, and there are more things on there than you were expecting.
This is what I was hoping for. Honestly, this is what I was hoping for. I'm happy.
Then-
Uza, did you find something shiny
Fuck.
that you
Oh,
wanted?
sorry, did you say something to me? I had to let my dogs out for a second, and apparently it's out of range.
Yes. Uza, did you find something shiny that you wanted?
I found lots of shiny
Kappa.
things.
But was there a shiny that you wanted?
Oh, I was thinking about, no, not really.
Do you want the money that was in here?
No, I'll find more. Ooh,
Okay.
actually, you know what? I did have one question. There was one thing that I kind of wanted.
Uh-huh.
There was like this really nice playing card set with like gold in it. It seemed really cool. Can I have that?
Playing card set with gold in it.
No.
Didn't I?
Deck-
I think I meant to. I think Brandon meant to cut that out because he already gave that to Zephyr a while ago.
You're talking about
If
the
it's
deck of
not like-
illusions.
The deck of illusions.
The deck of illusions is mine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that off the list then. Then I'm
Oh man,
going to
Uza
That
was
was a
a
Brandon
nightmare.
I literally just remembered what that could have possibly been. Like, oh, I'll take it.
Maybe if she forgives Zuza, she might give it to him.
Oh, conditional friendship.
There's this cool
Oh,
Onyx
yeah.
dog statue.
Make
Ooh.
it rain, make it rain.
I already have a stone friend. That's okay.
I don't think this
Um,
one changes. I think it's just decorative and possibly nautical.
I already have a boat.
Okay.
But thank you. Tell you what, next shiny thing you find, I get dibs.
I like that idea.
All right.
Now, where the fuck is the door?
It's behind those vines.
As you say, where the fuck is the door opens, and then we'll smash it.
Is there still vines in the way of the door?
Yeah, it breaks open the vines. As the door forms and opens, it just smashes and breaks open the vines as if they're not even there.
Like a door could do it, but I couldn't. God damn it!
And then so we'll smash cut to Visair. As you awaken, just for a second, your eyes open and you think you see a hallway made of shadowed leaves, but it vanishes as you blink. But as you concentrate, you can still feel it. It's there, but it's just beyond your sight. You had a dream, there was something about hidden pathways?
Would this be... Oh man, do I really want to use this spell slot this early in the day?
Sorry. Do you want to think it over?
I don't know how many slots I have for my... Oh, I only have one. Okay, I have one level 6 spell slot, and I can use True Seeing to tell what it is. But I just woke up!
Okay, do you want to concentrate on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna concentrate on it. What do
Okay. Roll just a general intelligence check.
No. Alright!
Not bad. Okay, so with a 20, you're able to remember. You're like, oh, that's right. There was something in my dream. I was able to see these connections between the Feywild and. Go ahead and look into the folder Feats, which you should be able to see now. You have gained
Feats.
Fey teleportation.
Yeah! Your study relevant
Oh,
lore
sorry,
has
no,
unlocked a
that's
Fey
not
power
yours.
that-
Just kidding. You have Fade Away. So your dexterity. I apologize. Sorry, everybody.
Take it away.
Somebody else get
You've
something
learned the
else.
magical trick, fading away when you suffer harm. You gain the following benefits. Increase your dexterity or intelligence by 1, maximum of 20. Immediately after you take damage, you can use a reaction to magically become invisible until the end of your next turn or until you attack, deal damage, or someone to make a saving throw. To use this ability, you can't do so again until you finish a short or Nice.
So you gain the ability to fade away into these hidden passages, so that way when something hits you, you don't have mental access to it, but you know as like when you take damage, you're instinctually able to reach out to that place and pull yourself in and become invisible to the waking world.
Cool.
So, Zephyr, as you come to consciousness, you can almost feel this lingering connection to the key in your body. Same as you did for something about the dream. You don't remember it very well, but you remember feeling whole in your body, and that feeling still continues a little bit as you can feel just more in yourself than you have ever before. You have gained the mobile feat. Your speed is increased by 10. And whenever you use the dash action, difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement on that turn. And most importantly, when you make a melee attack against a creature, you do not provoke opportunity attacks from that creature for the rest of the turn, whether you hit or not. And this will extend to your orc form.
Yes! Bitch, yes! I can now go at 40
Now,
Gotta
Tis-
get that
as fast as my flight speed. This is great.
and
You can keep up with me.
Across-
I can!
across from you, you see Mesnos waking up, and he's holding his head, and he's kind of shaking. He's like, I had a dream I was a bird.
Do I remember what that's from?
Man.
You remember vaguely something about somebody having a pet bird? And he has gained the Observant feat. His wisdom went up by 1, and his passive went
Not a
up.
pet.
Was I your pet bird in a dream?
No, you weren't my pet bird. I think I died.
You died? You look
Awfully.
fine. Well, thank God dreams aren't real.
Yeah, that was great. But I feel like invigorated. Like I feel like I want to go on a jog.
I feel like I was hit by the sky. Ugh.
I love
Did
it.
poop out of existence.
I think
Yeah.
that's more because of you drinking, Mesnos.
You know, This body doesn't seem to be as resilient to the alcohol effects. It takes a lot longer to get there, and it doesn't seem to be shaking
You'll-
off.
You'll get there. You have to build a thing called tolerance, you know?
Not again.
like- but if you can't, stick with the big girls, then maybe you shouldn't drink quite so much.
You're right, I should drink more so I can catch up quicker. And he pops a little flask and he drinks a little bit. And you see he tilts it back and he's like,
What's
it goes
Pass
so
it over.
fast now.
what's the opposite of an
empty.
AA meeting?
Pass it over!
He passes it, he shakes it and it's empty. He turns it upside down. He's like, I got nothing. Seals
You're
it.
Such an ass.
You know, if this
You
were
didn't-
like 3
pull out
years
one of
ago,
mine and
I would
take a
say it was
sip.
all our wives getting together. That would be the opposite of an AA meeting.
He gestures.
Oh, whoa.
He gestures
Include you,
for
yes!
like a drink because his was empty. Like, can I have just a little hair of
No,
not rat
You cut
anymore?
off. You wake up like this. You gotta kill yourself. You slow down.
Yeah, but just a little bit to get me through breakfast. Just a sip. Just a little.
It's the fire, buddy. That never hits you.
I mean, it couldn't hit me much worse than the sky.
I take another huge swig. And I'm like, because I can handle it. And then I pass the rest over to him.
Perfect. Make a Constitution saving throw as he takes just a little nip, just like he said, and hands it back. And as you get it back, you feel it hit your face. You feel it flush, and you're thankful for your coloration because you can feel it, the alcohol hitting you. You're like, oh no, and then you realize you put it back and you're like, and you are drunk for breakfast.
All right. Well, I'm gonna roll a deception to make sure. That
Perfect. So go and roll a deception so you can see if you can get it past him that you are.
That I'm
it's-
fine.
you're
I'm
to-
great.
It's totally fine. And then so let's see with his new perception. Oh yeah, I forgot that's gonna be. So he has a
Shit.
passive perception of 21. No, so I'll use his insight because that's actually more fair. No, he's like he kind of gives you like a respectful nod, and then he starts to get up and make his way out of the room.
Oh, her inner monologue is crazy right now. It's like,
I know.
don't show it.
Tazir, you find yourself arising from sleep and kind of smiling at yourself, and you just have this lingering thought of Queen's dog never even suspected you. And as you're smiling, you take a second, you shake your head, and like the thoughts that aren't yours stop lingering, and you kind of blink and you look around, and then you realize that you slept with both of your short swords on. And as you're looking down, you kind of stand up and you stretch a little bit, and you pull the swords, and they feel kind of lighter than they ever have before. You kind of twirling them in your hands, and they feel more in sync. You feel like able to move quicker and more efficiently with both of them than you ever have before. And you have gained the feat Dual Wielder.
Woo!
So
Nice.
while fighting with two weapons, you gain a +1 to your AC. While you're wielding two of your weapons, you can use two-weapon fighting even when the one-handed melee weapons aren't light. So you can do like 2 rapiers or whatever you want to do. You can get for more damage, and then you can draw a stow two one-handed weapons as you normally would be able to draw a stow one. So you can just be like whap, whap, really fast. You have that quick draw on that now.
Yes.
You're Leonardo.
Perfect.
Get that girl a blue bandana.
And then
No.
it was as you guys start to exit the room, you see your brain is unconsciously just kind of scanning and looking for threats, and you realize you find yourself thinking about fighting things, but even when there's nothing to fight, and you're thinking about how ways that you would do it, and then or how you would tell people to attack and form formations, and then you're like, what the? And you start remembering then just like flash of the dream, and you're like, oh yeah, I dreamed I was a general. That was cool. I was like a really good general. And you have gained the martial adept feat. So with the 2 maneuvers, trip attack and rally. And then blood scale. As you're walking and coughing up, you suddenly you remember the being in Eladrin, and you remember like hundreds of years of having this innate magic in your blood, and you have gained the Fey teleportation.
I have a feeling that since I wasn't going to anyone else.
All of a sudden you realize you can speak Sylvan. You can read it, you can write it, you just have Sylvan suddenly in your brain from all
Sylvan?
of this. Sylvan.
No, that's
And-
definitely
tree
fucking
speak?
weird.
Your
No.
charisma is increased by 1 to a maximum of 20, and you've learned the Misty Step spell that you can cast once without expending a spell slot, and you can do this, you can regain that after 1 short or long rest.
Guess whose charisma modifier just went up, bitches?
All right. Oh, and Vice, I would advise the dexterity increase for your AC, just as a.
Because Zio's the only one that'll remotely impact my stats. No, I got it.
All right, perfect. So, those are the feats you guys have gotten for doing the Fey Knight side quest.
Fucking cool.
Do we remember the hag's riddles?
Very, very distantly. The only one who remembers the dream with any clarity is Bloodscale. The rest of you have just already fading memories. Like, it's super, super hard for any of you to remember anything that happened.
So
But I do have one
Bloodscale
question.
does remember riddles.
Yeah,
and he's
Bloodscale
gonna
remembers
try-
everything in intimate detail.
He is writing down these goddamn riddles.
Perfect. And as
Every
you go,
single one he heard, even the ones that were like for the people involved, he's just fucking like, scribble. Except it's now all in Sylvan.
Yep, I was gonna say, as you start writing, it's just Sylvan, and you don't even think about it until like you're about like you've stopped and you started writing as you're walking, and Uza, as you look back, you see him writing, and then as you look down, you're like, what the hell language is that? And it's just this beautiful script, and his handwriting for Sylvan is impeccable.
And fast.
And very fast. So, as you guys kind of make your way out of the tree, you walk out into the same serene place under this great gigantic tree that you spent the night in. You cut out. I didn't hear you. Oh no. We still have no audio from Mikhail.
Here we go.
Can you try resyncing your headset
no.
since you did get up and move around, and maybe that might be what's going on with it?
Good call.
Because it usually only happens later in the game when you've gotten up and done something, but you had to get up a little earlier than normal.
Hello?
There we go.
Hi.
Gotcha.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I just had a quick question since we were asking about how much of the dream we remember. What the... would I have remembered enough to maybe teach Maverick some of the signaling that Pavix knew?
Yes, all of you have leftover, like, the reason you have these feats is you guys have these leftover abilities, and, like, most of you are going to experience them as either, like, it's just something that's awoken inside of you and that you're able to access now that you weren't able to before, like other magical traits and things like that. You can choose how you want to flavor it. It might be, like, a blessing or like you're just growing, but the rest of you think that this is just, like, the rest of you are experiencing this as a natural progression of your power. Bloodscale is the only one who remembers the dream at all. After breakfast, you guys will have literally no memories of it.
For the rest of you guys, it's like you watched a weird porn and suddenly have a new fetish. I hope this doesn't awaken anything inside of me.
Oh god, who's into this?
So
Oh shit, I'm
Apparently
into
you.
this.
you've taken, that'll be,
Somebody.
I'm going to give that worst metaphor of the night. I don't even have to hear anymore. Worst metaphor of the night! It's not
That's
a
a
contest.
challenge.
Accepted.
That's a straight up meme,
We
sir.
can definitely
okay,
escalate
perfect.
this.
That is fair. That is fair. I won't call anything yet. All right. So, but the rest of you, as you start making your way down, the small pond that surrounds the tree is glistening as you see small fish jumping into and out of the water. On the benches and the large table, you see Hersam is already up, and he's just playing some gentle music as you kind of walk into his grove. He looks up and he smiles, and this kind of like just this big welcoming smile. And Bloodscale, he just gives you a nod,
Uza, take my paper.
and then he stands up from the
Ooh, so
table
pretty.
and he stands about 15 to 20 feet away from the table and nods again.
Bloodscale pulls his axe off of his back. It starts charging.
Perfect.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry. What?
I'm gonna draw my dagger.
Perfect. So you draw your dagger.
Bloodscale's just roaring. Who the fuck do you think you are?
And he's like, he just shakes his head. He's like, I'm Hassan, Prince of Fools. And then all of a sudden you're charging forward, and then you're charging the same distance.
Am I now? I have a thing.
Time to teleport.
Yeah, so I'm going to repeat it like once or twice just to get my range.
Perfect.
And then I'm just gonna Misty Step at the motherfucker.
Perfect. And as you Misty Step, you're about 10 feet away from him.
He's actually gonna take his axe and slam it into the floor.
Perfect. Her Sam does not move at all as you slam it into the floor.
Like you would a stump to actually leave it there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's the slam I mean. And he's just yelling it again and again, over and over again.
Her Sam, every time you ask, he's like, I am Her Sam, Prince of Fools. I am Her Sam, Prince of Fools.
Are we all in the room for this?
Yep, you're all standing outside there. You've seen Bloodscale run and then be back and run, and he just keeps repeating this same running loop until he vanishes and he appears 10 feet within Her Sam, and then he walks up and he slams his axe into the ground, and he's just screaming in Her Sam's face. Who does he think he is?
Sarah, maybe you should handle this.
I don't know. It doesn't look like he's going anywhere with this.
Well, what happened?
Hello?
It's like berserk.
I yelled right.
Bloodscale is just getting angrier and angrier, but it's not like the normal rage you see when he's fighting.
Bloodscale?
This
What's
is just
going
straight up
on?
pissed.
I don't know.
Is
Should
Bloodscale having an emotional breakdown?
Should I cast Charm Person on him or something? I'm afraid if it doesn't work, he might come.
Ty, how are my eyes?
Your eyes, same as they were. And as you're screaming, you do see a little bit of spittle, like it comes to the edge of your mouth, and then it freezes, and then unfreezes, and then the rest of you see this kind of screaming. The spit is falling from his mouth, and you see it freeze and unfreeze, like you've seen his mouth froth before with rage. But like this is like it seems to be like pooling in his mouth, and then as it hits the pool, you hear just your.
Oh my god.
I'm
Oh.
gonna cast Minor Illusion just right next to Bloodscale's ear. Hey, buddy. What's going on?
You know you didn't have to do that. We have the stones.
It's fun. It's a cantrip. It's out of combat.
You hear this. You hear Viser's voice in your ear. Eh.
This will actually cause a rage to pop.
Perfect. Go and mark off a rage.
I'm not going anywhere near. Last time this happened, I got stabbed.
Yeah.
I really don't want to use all my spell slots to try and slow him down. I just
I'm
want to know what the hell's
You
going
also
on.
now see in Bloodscale's hands the claws pop out.
Ah, crying out loud.
I'm gonna Bane Bloodscale.
Okay.
What?
Go and cast Bane, Bloodscale.
Yeah.
It's a saving throw,
It's
correct?
a Charisma saving throw, DC 15.
Perfect. Roll your charisma saving throw.
Could banish him?
Bane.
No, it just gives him a minus D4 on his attacks and saving
Oh.
throws.
No, I was
are-
saying I could
Do anything to him.
banish him.
Yeah, you are raging and baned.
Hooray!
And then
Okay,
have you
wait,
stopped?
going on.
Are you
The
are you
moment
still?
the Bane hits, another expenditure of rage, but it turns corrupted.
Perfect. So as you reach for that corrupted place, it is not there. As you feel yourself fall into the depths of rage, but you're not getting the same thing as usual. You're still having the draconic features that you're used to, but you can't find that pitiless, deep wellspring of power that comes with that corrupted rage.
Bloodscale's gonna rake his own chest.
Perfect. And then so you take your claws. Are you doing both claws?
Just
Or
the
just
right
one? Just the right one? Okay, go ahead and make an attack against... no, you auto-hit yourself. So go and roll damage for your claws. Okay, perfect.
But it's
Can
halved.
So take 3 points of slashing damage.
But
can raging?
no, go ahead. You're
Can
good.
raging characters be charmed?
They
I'm not frenzied, but Bloodscale was actually about to do something, so it's up to you.
Okay, no.
So, and as you rake across your chest, there is a sizzling, and you take half damage, and then the blood that starts to come out is tinted. It's tinted green and red. But
Oh,
in your rage, you might not notice that. It's just a flavor.
Nah. With a bloody hand, he's gonna point back to the rest of the group, and he's yelling still loudly. If I wanted them in my head, I would have invited them.
And then here's Sam.
The hell is he talking about? I wasn't in anyone's head. You guys in his head?
I had
He can't change his eyes.
And Sam looks you dead in the eye and he's like, now do you think you were in your head before last time? You will know for a fact you were not in your head, and I would not invite anyone else in there. You were elsewhere. They don't
He's gonna
know.
Bloodscale's gonna reapply the blood and then point in his fucking face.
Perfect. So go ahead and do another slash.
It just yells, "You
I
know
just
what
did
I
this one.
mean."
And he's like, I do know what you mean, and I promise you, no one else was in your head last night. And take another 2 points of slashing damage.
Hey, did you guys also have a weird dream?
Blood-
Oh, I think it was weird, but no weirder than normal. You know, it's kind of.
Bloodscale just still pointing in this guy's face. Just like, you can fuck right off!
Okay, what did he do? What did Bloodscale?
And as
Bloodscale's
you,
gonna just turn around, grab his axe, and walk back to the tree.
then,
Did you
Sam
have
is
a
like-
tree?
you see her Sam shake his head. He's like, I promised no harm. Had to make sure. And then he turns around back to the table and he kind of spreads his arms to the rest of you. He's like, well, I have breakfast prepared if anybody
Bloodscale
would
is
like
gonna
to.
point backwards and attempt to Eldritch Blast over his head.
Perfect.
Over
You
that
are-
guy's head.
What level? You have Eldritch Blast
Well, it's
at?
out- I don't think we ever made it a level thing. It was
Okay.
just a
I'll just that later.
it's a
but he just-
cantrip.
You see,
Cantrip.
you fired away, but it seems to find no purchase. The rest of you see it kind of like hit him, but also not hit him. It's this.
No,
weird,
he
like,
wasn't. He
phases
wasn't
to it.
actually aiming at the guy. He was
Oh, okay.
aiming over the guy's head.
Oh, okay, perfect. So you fire into the tree and
Or it's
Hussam
like a
again.
shut the fuck up warning shot.
Hussam doesn't even move. He barely acknowledges that anything happened, and he's like, "Anyway, coffee seems to be in order." You see Ilofir at the table, kind of looks over to the fire fairy on his shoulder, and you see they're both kind of like mumbling a little bit.
Okay, should I go heal him?
And
I think we
as
should probably
Bloodscale
leave him
steps
alone right
across
now.
Bloodscale, as you step across the threshold of the tree, your wounds instantly close.
Howdy.
Bloodscale makes
I-
them again
I
And they
slowly.
close as long as
And
you're in the
again.
tree. They auto close,
and again.
and they
I,
It's
do
just his
scar.
thing now.
I grab a cup of coffee,
It's just his thing now.
like timidly, like while everyone's looking over at Bloodscale. I just kind of like.
Mommy just smacked Daddy at the dinner
Are you
table.
doing the
and we're all
Baby Yoda
pretending to
right
keep
now?
Eating.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab that and just watch, drinking my coffee.
I'm also going to have some coffee and just kind of wide-eye look at everybody like, what just happened?
Isn't there something we
I-
were supposed to do today? I can't remember.
So hey, question for you guys. I vaguely kind of remembering you guys mentioning this potion that you drank with like a bits of things, and you guys had a vivid dream.
Oh,
No, that
oh,
wasn't
no.
a dream. That was like a vision quest. We're not even sure if that was real or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Well, we got
let's
abilities
feel-
after.
but
true.
it's like I feel
Anybody
like
else
right
feel
now-
different? Because I feel
like,
fast.
I mean,
there's some things over in those trees over there that I'm a little worried about, but not too worried. But if they were going to be a problem, I know how to kill them, and I know how to help you guys and coordinate you perfectly.
Oh wow.
Weird.
Okay.
I
He
mean, I don't
drank
know.
that potion.
Oh, and then he ate the piece of that guy that he took.
Oh.
he ate part of a guy. Oh, that's not good. That's
Yeah,
not
the guy who
right.
tried to kill you. Well, the guy who
Who's
did
just telling
kill you.
secrets again?
Oh.
Oh lord. That seems very bad. That seems unbelievably not good.
Yeah,
hell?
and then we woke up and there were like vines all over us, and Bloodscale had to break out, and then his eyes were like green, like silver green, and he's like, oh, let me change them real quick, and he like closed his eyes and he opened them, and then they were still the same, and he's like, oh, well, what about Chenoth? And then he closed his eyes and he opened them, and they were still the same, and then he went and attacked him.
Oh, no.
Alright, so I have no idea what's happening. Zephyr, you have any clue? I mean, it sounds like you
I
went on a
think he
vision.
made the vision quest potion, and I think Sam put us in there with him? But I don't remember very much.
How could that happen? I didn't drink anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sam?
that reminds me. I was busy doing this, and I put out a piece of paper. Here's what we have in the bag of holding. I don't know who wants
Oh.
that.
That's
And
like
then,
a list of stuff?
So
Just
yeah,
a
you guys
list.
should all have the list of bag of holding now. And you guys do note that these, like, you feel different, but you don't have the marked, like, new abilities like you did last time.
Thank you, Uza. That's very nice of you. I don't know. It's always hard for me to judge these things because I just wake up some days and I can shoot, fireballs out of my hands. So I don't feel much
doesn't-
different, honestly.
It doesn't seem quite like that, but like you said, I feel like running right now. Like, I feel like I could outrun most of you at this point.
I mean,
Oh, let's
that's
not
the
get carried away.
Feywild, though. That's kind of a. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're just feeling invigorated by the forest.
No, I don't think.
You did have a hell of a
6
meal
pounds
last
of-
night.
We have 6
Sam?
pounds of bard spice
Yes.
in the bag. I didn't realize that.
Okay. Alright, that's mine.
Oh, that's blood scales. He actually knew about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
6 pounds. Somebody's hoarding.
That is definitely
not mine.
community at this point. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, and I just kind of like tuck my bag further away because I thought it was missing.
You reach in your bag. You kind of like reach for your bag, and you feel your stash.
Oh god.
It's gonna go bad before we can use. We better sell some of it for crying out loud.
You see Mesnos is
It's gonna go bad before we can get through 6 pounds. My God.
You want to bet?
you know.
Yeah.
It's in the bag of holding. It's fine.
I would.
Don't worry, Mesnos, I'm listening.
Could I have a little bit of that?
Oh,
You
he
need to
wants the
just
drugs,
chill
too.
out over here,
it's-
Mesnos. You
it's-
constantly.
It's for my hangover.
I lean
That's not how
over
you
and I
deal
hand
with
him
a
one of my
hangover.
joints.
He takes it, and you see, he like
Guys,
starts looking
And I
around.
light
Then he
it with my
remembers.
finger.
He goes to light on your finger. Then he remembers, and he kind of leans back and he snaps it to fire, and he's like, "This I could get used to." And he,
Mesnos, one of these days you're gonna have to learn to just deal with life a little.
Yeah.
Just.
eventually, that's true.
Alright, pass that over. Pass that
And he only takes a single, not like huge hit, just a little, and then he hands it over to Zephyr.
Didn't you guys get uppity about
Also
me
take
having
it.
an extra large coffee in Vernder?
To be fair, we're more tolerable on this than you are on coffee. Oh.
Yep.
You know, I'm really not enjoying the double standard in this party right now.
Well,
Well,
build
it's
the tolerance.
Mainly
and-
because we were afraid you'd never sleep again.
Yeah, that. Mostly that.
Sleep's a crutch. Oh, that reminds me, we should probably check on Bloodscale because he's probably self-harming.
So
Okay,
we will
okay.
go ahead and cut to Bloodscale. So Bloodscale, as you're pacing the room, you start running directly at the wall, and you kind of head down, and bam, you crash into it. But it doesn't seem to hurt at all in a very frustrating way. And as you keep trying to you seem unable to inflict any sort of harm on yourself while in this tree. Do you want to try anything else? Are you there? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving
Okay,
the tree.
okay. Perfect. So you head outside of the tree. And
Hey, where are you going? Oh Lord, I head
Leaving
after
the
him.
area.
Perfect. And you head outside of the grove.
Where are you going? But Bloodscale. Bloodscale. Bloodscale.
I'm just going.
I'm gonna-
going until a claw hurts.
Why? What's going on?
Perfect. So Bloodscale, as you're walking and you're kind of checking, all of a sudden you get to the boundary of the grove, and it stays. I go and roll claw damage, and then you take the full without rage.
That's perfectly fine.
So you take 6 points of slashing damage.
It puts me where I was from the rage ones. That's perfect.
And what would you like to do? You know.
Well, it depends on how fast people are catching up to Bloodscale.
So are you guys chasing after him? Or are you guys letting him go?
I'm running. I'm going full out.
Okay, so
I was right behind him.
So they are right behind you. They're keeping pace with you. If you're at an aggressive walk, they are right there.
Uza, that's Uza. I'm so used to yelling at Uza, crying out loud. Bloodscale, what the hell's going on? This is
fuck do you think's going on?
one. I don't know. If I did, I freaking wouldn't have to ask. It's been a cryptic morning of waking up and barely getting any coffee before this. You went nuts. You
All
threw
right,
your axe on
Bloodscale,
the
did you
ground.
drink the potion?
Oh shit!
Oh
Well,
my god.
What do you mean? I don't remember anything. Look, I had a.
You went on a vision quest.
Crying out loud, why?
Why not?
What do you mean, why not? It seems really dangerous, and we're not even sure if it is the past or if it can affect the past. Like, you could undo something. You could unmake. I don't know. You could have serious side effects. We don't know.
You have like half the shit that all of you do isn't fucking dangerous.
Yeah, well, I
I just
usually
tuck my
clear it
head at
with
this
the
point
team.
and bow
What are you
out
talking about?
behind Spicer. I'm just shutting up at this point.
What do I mean? We usually do things as a team that are dangerous, or things that have a like point. You know, what's going on? Why?
Do you mean like these two getting hammered all the time, doing stupid shit?
Again, I'm not
Like
looking.
what? Like they did a flying race that didn't endanger anyone. Certainly wasn't gonna break reality. You don't see the difference there.
Are you and Uza playing outside the goddamn fortress?
Did
How we got
anything
here?
happen? Look, I wasn't playing outside the fortress. I was kidnapped, for crying out loud. And yeah, you're using examples that should say why not to do these things. Doesn't exactly justify you doing them, if you see what I mean. So are they bad or not? Because like that's where I'm stuck here. And what the hell is going on?
Well, of all your secrets and your shit you do.
I got no secrets. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything you want to know. I don't have one secret to keep to myself.
This entire goddamn trip is shit. Your weirdness.
I have no idea. Look, I don't know. You have all of the information I have. I'm an open book, literally. Not
I know.
a secret.
You think
But
I fucking know?
I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't understand what this
Did
has
that
to do
once, and then my fucking stupid fucking brain wanted to do it again.
Oh, it's an addiction.
My stupid fucking brain wants to do it again still.
All right. Well, yeah. All right. Well, part of the first step in addiction is admitting that you have a problem.
The first
I'm gonna
step is
go
I
ahead
turn
and-
around and I throw out the entrance fortress.
Perfect.
Like at
And
us?
it lands.
No.
No.
Okay.
Turn away from you guys.
He said turned away.
Back past the boundary.
Perfect. And you throw it
Alright.
outside the boundary, and it instantly informs.
What is this gonna help?
Now I'm gonna go deal with some shit.
What, are you gonna
Other than having to deal with
detox?
everybody else's shit for once.
Look, I don't understand what's going on, man. I really
Hold on a second. Vice.
He's just starting to
we're
barge
just-
into the fortress.
Blood
Alright,
bro, blood bro.
Do you
We're
close
just-
the door
I-
behind
turn-
you?
Turns around inside the doorway.
Okay.
Dude, we're like, look, I get it. Like, you're worried about the addiction thing, and these three have no fucking room to talk about it. We were talking about that like 2 seconds ago. It was actually, the timing is pretty funny, but like.
I don't
Dude,
get hammered
what
that
have-
often.
What
This
have
is-
I? What have I not? Dude,
My
you guys were
character's
just
so
arguing about
fault.
Bard Spice.
His character doesn't do.
to sell some of it because 6 pounds of it is way too much to have.
His
Not the
character.
time,
Guys,
Vice there.
stop-
Not the
stop.
time.
I'm just saying, you guys are judging my in-character for my out-of-character deeds, and it's not cool. My share barely gets drunk.
No, Uza's being an 8-year-old, and you just talked about a thing, so he doesn't
Well, I-
understand context
Wait,
of what you were saying.
blood bro, look, listen to me. Look, I get it. It's you're fucking scared right now, right? Like, you don't
No,
know
I'm
what just
pissed.
happened last night. Okay, well, you get pissed when you're scared. It's pretty easy to see. I saw it this morning. Dude, you gotta talk to us, man. Come on. We are in a
I will after I
totally-
work my own shit out.
We are in a totally different place right now. I don't know
In
what
the
the
fortress
fuck is
closed
going
door.
on.
It is shut
Can
on
I
your
open
face.
the door?
You
I
can't.
think
Nope.
He has barred. I am assuming you have barred everyone else from entry.
Yeah, I figured
It's
that
his
was
magical fortress. You got to
You know
open
what's-
it, and it is
But
inconceivably
you know what's
heavy.
hilarious?
Can
In 10 minutes, he changes the rules so Mesnos could come in. But he doesn't tell anybody. But he
Yeah.
does that.
Okay.
is there?
Oh my.
Well, I guess our day
I
is
remember-
burned now while we wait for him to detox in his fortress of solitude. What,
Did-
the fuck, what are we
Mesnos-
supposed to do with this?
Mesnos has
He
been
need-
has been walking slowly this whole time, and he's finally made it up to you guys. He's like, I think he feels out of control, and I think he's given up too much control already, and is worried about what may happen next. As somebody who's been through some very intense transformations, I understand why anger comes first. Let's give him just a little time. Say about 10 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. And then he kind of like
The thing
beckons
is-
you all
the
back
thing
to
is-
the table.
Even if he were to figure that out, he'd still be the only one in or out.
Oh, yeah, he right now he's just basically telling he's beckoning everybody
I know,
back to the
I
table.
know, but what I'm
for
saying
food.
is like he would go in and then the door would close behind him.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
From the times that we've spent in the instant fortress, we can still hear things outside.
No, there's no sound in or out. It is a completely self-contained magical fortress.
How much time did we have to do the task from the Fey guy?
A week.
Ah, crying out loud.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go. Does he have a library or anything?
you see what he says? You'd have to ask him. You're not sure
Alright.
like what resources are available to you.
All right, I'm gonna leave the fortress and head back. I'm gonna gather information while this is happening.
You've done that. So you head over to Hersam, and what do you want to ask him?
I just want to get as much information about the creature that we're hunting,
Oh, perfect.
and any of the tasks that he has. I want to
Sure.
read up as much as I can, and I'm gonna try and sneak in a bunch of any research I can on Fey royalty and families in the.
Okay, perfect. So as you go up to him,
But-
so he's like, oh, of course. You don't think I'd send you out there blind, would you? And then he pulls a scroll from his belt and he unravels it, and he hands it to you. So you now have the handout Seeking the Key Rin. It goes over things to look for, is trying to find the layer, what things it prefers. So you have some details and stuff that you can go over if you like. Do you want me to go over them, or? Do you
Oh
want
no, I'll read him.
Okay, perfect. So, and then, so everybody else, Mesnos kind of heads back and he starts eating more bacon. And you see as he looks at an empty plate and he kind of like, he starts to frown. And then you see the plate fill up with more food and he just kind of smiles. And we'll go ahead and back to Bloodscale. As you're in the fortress and you are just destroying the inside of it, and like every time you're making like wild swings and breaking off pieces of the wall, that every time you look back at it, it grows back, and somehow that fuels your anger rather than helping sate it. And you just keep working away at this one spot until eventually you just take a second and you close your eyes and you start to focus. And then you crack your head into it, and like you're blinded a little bit by the pain from it, but the pain from it seems to like almost center a little bit, and you're like, bam, and you hit yourself in the head again. Go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw and a Strength check. No, 2 Strength checks.
Which one do you want first?
2 Strength checks. And a Constitution saving throw. And as you, the second time you go to crack the first time you're pretty freaking dazed, and you're like, bam, and your sight just goes instantly black. And as you don't even feel yourself hit the floor.
How much damage do I take?
Let's see, that nat 20. Go ahead and roll a
Is it half 'cause
d20.
he's raging?
No, he's not
He's not-
raging. Roll a d20, add 4, and double it, because this self-inflicted non-raging damage on your own skull on stone.
18!
18 points of bludgeoning damage. And then, but as you your sight goes black, and without even feeling your body fall away, you find yourself standing. And you look around, and you are surrounded by green glass on every single angle around you. And you see there's the 3 dragons that you know share this space with you are all running and cracking into the grass, trying to claw and make their way in. You can't tell if they're roaring or trying to yell something to you. It's impossible to tell as there's no sound coming through. Not even them slamming into it is making any sound at all. Gonna get a perception check.
Okie dokie.
So, and as they're slamming into it, you know, everything looks green around you, and you look and you see off in the distance there's something in a pile of vines, and you're like, what the fuck? And you come back to consciousness. You have no idea how long it has been, but you are lying on the floor of your fortress. I'm going to roll an insight check for Mesnos to see if he will think that he might be somebody who can help. Yeah, 20, okay. As you awake, you see the new form of Mesnos in his purple tiefling form, sitting on a chair and looking down at you. He's actually, he's reading. He's just waiting for you to come back to consciousness, and you see him flip a pin, turn a page, and he's like, I don't know why you let me in, but I'm glad you did. He closes the book and sets it down.
So you're the most fucked up one of us all.
More than likely. What's going on?
Fuck was there glass?
I'm sorry, what?
Ugh.
Glass? What do you mean?
Pissed off dragons. That was
Stone
normal.
dragons. Yeah?
There's fucking glass in the way. Some vines in a corner.
Okay. Now you say these dragons.
You need to yell at Lifespring.
You need to yell at Lifespring. Who is Lifespring?
What do you remember?
Me? Nothing.
Dream. What do you remember?
Something about a bird. It's dreams that faded, unfortunately. I've nothing more than I remember saying something about a bird, but I don't even remember that part of the dream anymore.
The bird died a few times.
The bird died a few times? Did something happen to Uza in your dream?
Oh,
No?
maybe.
Maybe?
Who was the
You want
bird? Were you the bird?
I don't
Only the
know.
bird died a few times.
Do you want to tell me about it?
Right now, I need to break brain glass.
Okay.
I'll talk about it after brain glass is broken.
Sure. I see. Are you having... Okay, I think I understand. You had some sort of vision or something last night. Maybe a divine intervention of some sort?
Did they not figure it out? I'm pretty sure they figured it out.
Oh, well,
Oh, you were slow.
I was very distracted this morning.
Remember the orcs?
Yes.
That weird juice?
Well, I
We
didn't
all had
want
the weird
to
shit?
didn't want to suspect until you confirmed.
Yeah, well, you deal with it.
Very well. That I can do.
At least you didn't have to eat part of that weird mossy fucker.
At least you're still in your body. And he kind of looks down and gives you kind of a shrug and the barest slightest hint of a smile before it's instantly
Yeah.
gone.
Knock that off. You're better now. Fuck off.
That is fair. Is there anything I can do to help? Do you want me to see if I can...
Give me back in my brain?
I mean, if you'd like.
I mean, that'd be cool. I need to go there.
Okay. Do you want me to try to knock you unconscious? If so, I would recommend either giving me a potion to heal you in such a case I accidentally go too far, or allow one of the people who can heal in here. As well, I could spare the dying, I guess. So you won't die, even if I do knock you completely unconscious near the brink of death. That might give you more time to where
Fortress!
you clearly would.
And I'm saying this in Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
Fortress, you can allow fucking Zephyr in.
Mm.
I don't think Mesnos understood that.
Mesnos knows every language now.
I just give him the side eye like, you motherfucker.
He doesn't give any indication that he understood a word you were saying. His face doesn't change at all.
He
even
literally
the
just
performance.
hummed.
There we go.
My passive perception's higher than that.
Perfect. So yeah, you definitely hear the
Just give him the side eye like, I fucking know that you understood that, you dick.
Very well. Then
I don't have to tell you
pretend.
then.
Yes. Very well. Do you want
Let's
me
go
to
get her.
Do you want me to knock
Let's
you
go get
first
her.
so you don't have to talk to her?
Let's go get her.
Very well. And he stands up and he heads out of the fortress.
Headbutts against wall. Let's resume.
Strength check.
The dumbest shit. By the way, I'm right. I mean, due to primal path, the primal path aspect of the beast, bear, carrying capacity is doubled and you gain advantage on strength checks to push, pull, lift, or break objects. Would that
Yeah.
apply to this headbutt?
I can't, are you trying to? Well, are you trying to knock yourself out? Or are you trying to like break your skull open?
Just knock yourself out.
Okay, so well, this time you have advantage anyway because you've already knocked yourself out once, and so you have advantage on the strength check and disadvantage on the saving
This is gonna
throw.
be a bad concussion, boys and girls. That's not great.
And then your Constitution saving throw.
Is that normal or dis? Or...
Dis.
Whew.
And so you crack into the, and it just a blossom of pain. Roll a d20 and add 8.
This is the dumbest shit that I have done in a long time.
It's okay. I
I've
think it was
had
your
such
turn
a
anyway.
Great time.
Oh my god. So you take 44 points of bludgeoning damage.
Holy balls.
Do you want to try again?
I'm gonna sit down and have a short rest.
Perfect. Okay, as you
We'll get here.
as you sit down, so outside, unaware that any of this is happening. So finally, so about an hour passed, and Uza went into the fortress, and it's been an hour since then. Mesnos entered the fortress, and he comes out and he kind of gestures to Zephyr to come over and enter the fortress.
Yeah, I've just kind of been waiting with folded arms, like,
And so you stand up. And he's
timidly
like,
kind of shuffle forward.
he did say something about the dragons and that you did figure it out. It was part of that potion.
That's right.
But I think he's going to do something much worse to himself if we're not careful. And then he walks back in, and as he opened the door, you see Bloodscale sitting there, and there's just this giant blossom of blood on his head. You see that he has cracked his fucking face open really, really hard.
Alright, well, I run forward
Bloodscale,
and I kind of like slide on my knees
As
to
you
get
do,
to him, and I
Bloodscale,
start reaching my hands out.
make a history check for me.
Okie dokie.
It's
With
just
advantage.
like a blood scale.
Okay, perfect. And so you see Zephyr running in and slides into, and she says your name.
This is for everybody in the chat that wants to see what Bloodscale looks like right now.
Oh my god! I'm not gonna show that because that's not safe for Twitch.
Yeah.
Is this the eye patch
No.
gif again?
No,
No.
much worse.
Damn.
No, there are wrestling streams on Twitch
Whoa.
that do get to that amounts of
All right.
crimson.
So audience,
Okay.
here you go. Oh my god! Look at his face. Okay, that's enough.
So as we all know, that's fake. He bladed.
That's true. That's true.
Is he covered in corn syrup?
To be fair, half his face is also painted red.
To be
so it might be that
fair.
too.
Right.
So what were you saying? Sorry.
To be
So-
You're
fair.
laughing at bloody face.
So yeah, you see Zephyr run in, and she's She slides on her knees and says your name.
Hi.
I just start healing him.
Perfect. Go and cast whatever healing spell you'd like.
Since today's
I'm
problem
guessing the door has blocked me from going in.
No one else
Nope.
is allowed to enter.
to blow. I'm gonna blow a 4th level spell.
Perfect. So you heal 22 points as she reaches out and gently touches the side of your face, and
Ah, fuck.
What are
you feel a little bit better, but you are still pretty dazed.
Was that history check just to notice who was actually there?
You'll find out. Maybe.
What are you doing?
I need to get back in my stupid fucking head.
Oh my god. I have alcohol.
Don't drink. Will not
I probably don't want you drinking. That's a good point.
will not enjoy me when that happens.
Okay, yeah.
It's honestly not what you think. It's something completely different. Still not enjoyable.
I just went 6 different ways with that, and I don't want to see any of it, so...
It's a good
we're
call.
Okay. There's gotta be an easier way... Hang on, let me see if I have any potions.
I
do
do
I
have
have-
an idea
Oh! My sleeping draught!
that could work very well, and is much safer than me trying to possess him. So
Yeah,
should try
and
that
if you only
first.
use it once, you should
I
be...
want to try to possess me. It's weird shit happened like that once, and I got
Oh.
a ring that helps with that. So
I
you have
was-
a hard time.
just thinking maybe I could possess your body, leaving your mind to do its own thing. But yes, let's try the sleeping potion.
Here. And using it once won't harm you, so... And I pour
Are you
out
sure?
a little...
Are you sure my history of using things once and not fucking with me is pretty poor right now?
Just please stop hurting
I
yourself.
see Mesnos think for a second. He's like, same.
And I just like pour out a little bit of the sleeping draught for him. I don't even give him a full potion. I only give him half
Perfect.
because he's already near unconscious anyway.
No, I'm over half.
How many hit points do you have?
63.
How many?
63.
63? Nope, not enough.
Oh.
You are out.
Oh, no, I'm just saying after her healing.
Oh yeah, no, like so the sleeping draught.
No, no,
is
I know how
act-
sleep works.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, so
Damn it.
and then so do you take it?
Yeah.
Perfect. So as you
Like the moment she hands it over, she's like, fuck it, done.
perfect. And so as you take the drink, it tastes slightly sweet, and you didn't realize how gross your whole mouth and stuff felt, and you're starting to taste blood mixed in there too, and you kind of like after you drink it, you take a second, you spit out like a chunk of coagulated blood, and you're like, what the fuck?
No, no, the blood's oddly comforting.
Oh, it would be if it was still blood, but it's being congealed and like
that's
blood
fair.
and acid, so it's chunks.
That's fair.
And then
I
you just
don't know, I coughed up this pink thing earlier. I should be fine.
and before you can reach the end of your sentence, you are out. Were you
I
standing or
catch him
sitting?
so he doesn't hit his head.
That was a Venture Brothers reference.
Oh, I missed it. What did you say?
I coughed up a weird pink thing a little while ago. It's when
damn
Brock gets back
Yeah,
into the
Box
space station.
after he's been frozen to death, nearly to death. Okay. So since you're sitting up, I need a strength saving throw from
Me?
Zephyr with advantage because Uzo's going to try to help you.
Or, you mean
Mesnos.
Mesnos?
I'm not there.
No, sorry, freaking too many
question.
Z-zip in this party. Yeah,
Question. Should I just roll to see if he slumps forward?
sure. Roll d20. 10 and under, you roll forward. 10 and up, you roll back. You fall back. You fall forward quickly. You've now upped the DC for catching you.
Well, no, 'cause- he was sitting like on his butt with his knees in front of him. So if he slumps forward, it's still safer than falling backwards.
Yeah,
Oh,
but he
okay, I see.
still
I thought
cracks his
you
head
were.
on the cement.
I thought you were sitting in a chair. So go ahead and roll your strength
no,
saving
he
throw at
was on his
advantage
butt.
to see if you can stop him from hurting himself.
Well, I
Think
already did.
unconscious.
I
Oh,
got a
9?
9.
Okay, it's okay. You only needed a 5 to stop him because he's.
Oh, good!
Especially with the way he's sitting.
Because of the way
he
I was
upped it
sitting,
to,
because
he-
that's how Bloodscale would have said. He would have just been
Yeah.
exhausted and just in pain, and he would not have thought to find a chair. He just would have flumped on the ground.
So he did up it to 7 with the natural 1, but you still beat it, so no worries. All right, so Bloodscale, Once again, as sleep finds you, this time through potion rather than bludgeoning. This time it's much clearer, and you see you are able to move around in the space as you were as before. It was just a quick kind of flash before you came back, and you see there's this. It's about from the center view. It's about 15 feet out and about 30 feet high. It's just this this dome of glass, but it's not smooth. It's got faceted edges that are all seem to be in a pattern.
Do I see the dragon still pounding at it?
The dragons are still trying to make their way through it.
I'm gonna make like a hand, like just stop and see if they see me.
As you make the hand, you see the darkest of them kind of stop and then kind of lock eyes with you, and you recognize that even through the glass, this is Chenoth. And you see he turns his head to either side and says something. You see the rest of them kind of stop, and you see they all kind of like stop, and they all kind of are staring at the glass now, all sitting almost like dogs waiting to see what happens next. Can I get another perception check?
Okie dokie.
Perfect. And as you're looking around with the dragons not flailing about in your way, you're able to see over into that mass of vines, and you see there is a giant pedestal made of this white marble, and the vines are growing around it and almost holding it up. And you see there is a plaque on it that says Achalak. I'll go and link that in chat.
What the fuck is a chalk? A piece of chalk?
Bless you.
And you see that there's there's a bit of movement from the mouths of the dragons, and as they're trying to say something.
Before I kind of move over there, I'm just gonna yell out into the ether. Life Spring, is your ass in here?
No response.
You fuck. A chalk. I'm just repeating it over to kind of just pound it in, because it's blood scale. He's still kind of dumb.
Make a history check to see how well it sticks. Luckily, you're not in your body, so no disadvantage. So perfect. Yep. So when you awaken, it will be stuck. Is there anything else you want to try during this dream?
Well, I was gonna go over to in front of the dragons
Perfect.
and see if I can claw that word into the glass, if it does anything.
Perfect. And so go ahead and make a strength check as you try to claw something into this green.
That was a save.
Right,
You can use the first roll if you want.
you know me. So as you go to read it,
Whichever
and
one's fun, I know.
you cannot find the purchase, and you're trying to scratch it in, but it just you see is your strength isn't getting anything, and there's almost nowhere, like you're hoping that you can catch like a little bit like a corner or something, or just like a little bit of roughness to give your claw purchase, but it's so infinitely smooth that you just can't claw
I'm gonna
against
hold up
anything.
one finger to the dragons real quick
Perfect.
and see if I can get my axe in here.
Perfect. So you're concentrating on your axe? And after a long while, it appears in your hand. Not super long, but about 10 seconds longer than it usually would take in this place. And as you hold it, the eye in it is this violent green and is just staring, not wildly around like usual, looking for things. It is staring directly at you.
I'm gonna hold up the number 2 to the dragons and then point to my head.
Okay. You see Chenoth, he holds up
It's
3
charades.
and points to your head.
I'm just gonna give him an okay, and then I'm gonna flip the axe around to those pointy bits on the back,
Perfect.
and I'm going to first. I'm going to grab the actual sharp edge with my palm and slice it open.
Perfect. And as you slice it open, Your blood. Go ahead and roll. Just roll a d6 plus. No, yeah, just a d6 because you're being. Actually, a d4 because you're being pretty careful. 2 anyway, perfect.
It's 2.
So, and you slice your hand open, and the blood is the regular red that you're used to.
Ah, fuck. That's one idea gone. I'm just gonna take the backside of the axe now that has the pointy bits. I'm gonna try to carve with that.
Perfect. Roll a strength check with advantage now that you have your axe. Perfect. And then with a 24, you're able to, through a lot of effort, you carve the words chalk, that single word into it, and it takes a good while. It
takes longer because I'm doing it in reverse, so they can read it.
And so,
because I'm not that stupid.
As it's written out, you see the dragons nod, and you see all of them point to the pillar. And then you see that they're trying to say something, and then you see them trying to claw against the glass, but they can't seem to find purchase on their side to write anything back. And they point and they nod, and they point and they nod, and then Chenoth holds up his hand and puts 4, and then points to his head, and then points to your head.
There's a fucking nether dragon in here. I run over the pillar, and I'm gonna put can I put something on top of it?
It's outside of the glass, beyond the dragons.
No, I know, but I meant height of the pillar. How tall is the pillar?
The pillar, it's about a 15-foot pillar, and it's got about a 30-foot base.
Just gonna put my axe up to it, because it has green eyeball, that's all weird.
So, sorry, maybe described it incorrect. So you're inside the glass, and the dragon's on the outside, and the pillar's behind the dragons. You see it in the distance.
Oh! So I was able to read the plaque from that far away?
Yep.
Oh, that's
Dreams are
fucking
weird.
weird. Okay, either this... I'm gonna point back at Chenoth, and do a 4, point ahead, and then go... And just with a shrug, and then point here? In?
Point. Where are you pointing? Sorry.
I'm pointing like down to signify is the 4th in?
You see there's a head shake, and then
And then I'm gonna point like up in the air, like in a Y, like out.
He shakes his head, and then he holds his hand, his palm flat, and then he has the hand fly in and then land.
I'm gonna turn around. I'm just gonna yell, "Oh, Chuck, get your fucking ass down here!"
And that's where you awake. So, you awaken. It is, well, seemingly unchanged of the day, but for the rest of you, 8 hours will have passed while this is happening. Does anybody want to do anything while that is happening?
I want to talk to Uza and
Perfect.
and let him know what I've found out about the Kirin.
Alright, so, Uza, do you want to RP that or just share the handout?
No, I want to just let him know that where does it say? You can find it if you have precious items or a gift that may open a door to its lair. That it likes art and beauty. Ask him if he wants to work on a painting for it. And I'm gonna start working on like a song.
Perfect.
Does it keep the art?
It says it's a gift, so I assume that it's art that you give to it for it to keep. And then I'm going to do a song to hopefully like when it only like lets people that like it allows to meet it. Hoping that the song can sort of like get its interest and then like bait it towards us, and then we can offer it a gift of art to like maybe get it to come with us. Because I don't think we want to try and capture it. I've been reading more about these things. They're amazing. They're basically like everything good in the world, and we might be able to like convince it to come with us without having to do any sort of like capturing it with iron or.
And
Yeah.
You do know when you looked at the picture, you got a psychic image of the Kirin. There wasn't an actual painting, but now you know exactly what it looks like.
Oh, cool.
If you want to share that with other people.
It looks like this. Maybe if you want to do a portrait of it, or if you want to do whatever you want, it's art, right? So like, but anyway, here's what it looks like, and I show him the.
And then if you look in the Seeking Kirin,
Is it like minor
handout,
illusion?
it's an innate illusion inside of it, but it's a combination of send message and illusion, so it sends the illusion straight into your brain without having to store it on the page.
That's cool. That's weird. Feywild's weird. I don't like this
Feywild's
place. Everybody's mad at each other.
I mean, as far as Monster Hunt goes, this is like my style right here. We just do something nice for it and ask it to come with us. We don't have to kill it or anything. It should be. I mean, could be fun, right? Like, you get a chance to draw.
Did he hand me the full handout?
Yes, yeah, you have access to the. You shared the whole handout with him, right?
I was just going to share the image with him, but I can share the whole thing with him. Actually, it's fine.
So yeah,
is
so
there copies or?
This is the only copy.
Can you can I before, since we only have the one copy, I want to transcribe it before and then hand him
Sure. Easy enough. You take about 10 minutes and transcribe it. So we'll say you have a transcribed copy ready for it with the information. You can hand him that.
Yeah, exactly.
Transcopy.
Cool. So take a look at this one, and then this is your copy of all of the relevant details, if you're curious.
I'm gonna need new paints.
Let's ask our host. Maybe he can help us out with that.
Well, before we do that, look here. It says curses, diseases, poisons affecting good aligned creatures that are suppressed within those creatures. Is that temporary?
I think it's when we're in the presence of the Kirin. Yeah.
It actually says
we know how to
within
find it.
3 miles of the lair.
Yeah,
3 miles. Yeah.
At least we know how to find it. Fucking stick Bloodscale or Zephyr or Mesnos or any one of those fucking addicts out front, and they'll lead us right to it.
Alright, don't be mean to people who have problems, alright? Life is tough, and they've been at it a lot longer than you have, so, kindness and whatnot.
Shit like that. Fine, I'll paint your fucking painting.
Well, alright, do you want to talk about it? I'm not trying to scold you. I really am not.
No, I'm just gonna be like everybody else in this party. I'm gonna go fucking mope.
I don't mope! I'm not a moper! I don't want to mope! Yeah.
I'm gonna go talk to Hi Sam about paints. Here, Sam. Sorry.
Right, that's okay. He's like, as you walk up, he's like,
work it out through art! I believe in you!
you walk up and he says,
I don't know whether to love you or hate you! God damn it!
It's an easy choice!
And as you get closer, her Sam looks over and he's like, yes, you do. What can I help with?
It's just the way we communicate, apparently, in this party, is we'd be pissy at each other.
Oh.
Anyways,
well, hopefully one of you changes that, style.
Yeah. Couple questions for you.
Of course.
Can I get some paints? I think we might have an idea.
Sure.
To gain access to this guy. That doesn't require irons or anything like that.
Studio inside the tree. You should find everything you need for whatever painting you'd like to make, including a canvas.
Okay. That's cool. I guess. I think. And then this you might have noticed. I have a metal arm.
I did notice that.
It's not a real metal arm. It's like an outer part, but it's like I can't take it off.
Oh, yes, it's very cursed.
Like on a scale of 1 to 7, how cursed is it?
Well, I'd say about a 4. You can't remove it without removing the curse, so that's why you can't take it off. It's cursed to literally bind to your flesh. If you try to take it off without, you'll remove your flesh or your arm or whatever. Do you want, I assume you want help with that.
Well, I was, yes. So, and I know that things like they're not free unless you're borrowing them, and I don't want to borrow your services.
Sure.
So, I know you've kind of got a deal with Visair. We help you, you help him because you're great grandpa and everything. Then you gave him a dragon and he kind of owes you one, I think. I don't know.
Oh no, the dragon was more for me than him. I gave the dragon his freedom, and he secretly worked for me without even knowing about it. hard to keep track on grandchildren these days, so it just gave me a chance to look in on it.
Okay. Sure. Don't really have a concept of that, but okay.
Sure.
Yeah. And then
Think about if
would
you could give Maverick to somebody, but you could see through Maverick's eyes.
that would be cool. That sounds familiar, and I don't know why. Huh.
No idea.
So, would you be able to remove the curse from this thing?
The thing? No. If you remove the curse, part of it is that it takes control of your flesh to help you get that tinkering skill. If I remove the curse from it, it'll just become a sleeve. You will no longer do what it's supposed to do magically. But I can remove it from you, and you can choose whether to engage with it in future or not.
Let's hold off on that. I might need to make some things before we leave. But thank you.
Of course.
I'm gonna go.
The short break in our stream has been brought to you by DM Emporium. That's right,
DM
DM
Emporium.
Emporium for all your DMing needs. Do you need dice towers, dice, t-shirts that let everyone know you're the nerdiest kid in the group? Maybe you're a DM who just wants to wear a cool shirt on his DMing nights. Or her DMing nights. That's right, we have ladies t-shirts too. That's right, DM Emporium for all your DMing needs.
You're wonderful.
Write that down.
And don't let the silken words of my colleagues fool you. Over here at DM Emporium, we are more than happy to have the occasional player or two come and sample our wares, if you've got the coin.
And all of this coming from our already satisfied customers.
Absolutely.
That was our Deadpool Cable.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go fucking paint. Because that's
Excellent.
all I can fucking do for people. I'm gonna go paint. Sarah, I'm gonna go paint your picture. Are you sure you're gonna want it afterwards?
Yeah, just paint it from the heart, something that really helps you work through this anger that you're feeling right now.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna paint it, and whether you want it or not later, you're gonna fucking take it.
That's right, because art is beauty, and beauty is what this thing likes. Really, it's the emotion that matters. I believe in you.
I'm gonna scream at him with thaumaturgy from the tree. Engage with my anger!
Good job, buddy!
Perfect. And
Art
so,
critics can smell insincerity a mile away, and your sincerity and anger should be something that the Kieran will appreciate.
Oh, God.
so that's the last thing you hear as you head into the tree. And as you head in, there's a new staircase downward. And you follow the spiral and you enter this studio. And as you walk in, you see Elofir is already sitting down in there. And he's sitting in front of a canvas. And you see he has a piece of charcoal in his hand. And you see he's making a portrait. He seems to be sketching out another Furbolg. One that looks very similar to him, but it doesn't have all the same features. Like, it's a little more wider set, a little heavier built, a little more muscular. And you see he's looking at it, and you see he's staring at it, and he's like, occasionally the chalk is like pulled out into like almost like a pencil shape, and he like occasionally you see him like suck on the pen. He doesn't even notice you're there, and he's trying to look at it, and then he puts it back in his mouth. He's trying to think. You see he adds a few details.
Breakfast is gonna taste funny if you keep doing that.
Everything always tastes a little funny to me. I'm sorry. Do you want the studio to yourself?
No. You're not being a dick. You can. That's fine. I don't want to kick you. Should I get another room? I'm sure.
No, you're
this man. Tree, make me another room.
And a door appears, and then it slowly starts to disappear. And he looks at everything. Are you sure you do not want somebody to just share a space with?
I mean, you look like you could probably use the company, so yeah, that's fine.
You know, you are never wrong about this. I spend lots of time alone, only on tasks for you, Sam. He starts
What are you
sketching
drawing?
again. I'm trying to remember what my father looked like. sketches again. He's like, it's been so many years since I've seen him. I was separated from my family in the Great Fire. You see, he adds, as he says the word fire, you see, like, you almost see like a little bit of smoldering come off of his body as he says the word out loud, and then it's almost gone, like almost like the inside of him caught fire, and he exhales a little bit of smoke, and he's like, sorry.
No, that's fine. I think I might have something that might help you a little bit.
Yes, that is something I would enjoy. Is it the nose, right? I can never do the nose right. I mean, he kind of like sits back and looks at it.
As he sit backs and thinks about it, I'm just gonna very lightly touch him and cast guidance.
Perfect. And so as you cast guidance, you see his like back straightens a little bit. He's like, oh, yes, you're right. No, it was not the nose. I was too obsessed with it. And he kind of leans in, and you see he licks his thumb, and under the in one of the eyes, he kind of like pulls a line. He's like, he licks his thumb and he pulls it on the other side. He was actually not. He's older than I think of him. No, of course he was older. I only think of things in young and in full. And then he starts to draw some age lines, and he's looking at it like, there we go. No, apparently he was someone of some importance.
Well, yeah, he was your dad.
Too true. I apologize. This can be more about what you are doing as well. What are you come to paint? I assume painting. And he gestures over to these. Oh, you see, there's a full station with a full like every color of paint you can imagine, metallic and non-metallic.
Yeah.
I'll go and give you guys this one.
Metallic
Close
and
to-
not metallic. Somebody paints minis.
I'm gonna give you guys a new map to look at.
I need some contrast over
Hey!
here.
Pretty.
Lovely. Yeah. I mean, I'm supposed to paint something, but
Well, you know what
time.
they say. If you're
my
supposed
heart's
to
not
paint
really
it,
in it at the moment. You
if
know?
you're supposed to paint it, you shouldn't paint it. You should just paint what you want to paint. What do you want to paint?
I'm gassing my husband. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Still deadly but deadly, huh?
He's awake, woman. You don't need to give him smelling salts.
You're muted, baby.
I woke up every time she farted.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know.
No?
I got
You
asked
paint-
by a friend to paint all of our friends, and I did it, and she got all pissy, and then she said I'm not her friend anymore, but over a joke, which was
Do you believe her? What did you say?
oh, I made fun of her making out with the guy who remember the guy who used to be, he was like a rat, and then now
Yes,
he's
yes.
taller and like much more handsome, and then he went off and had another room.
Yes, of course. Mezzy, I think you're calling
Mesnos,
her.
yeah, Mezzy, yeah. I just made a joke that they were making out, and everybody was laughing because
Ah,
that was
yes.
the fucking yeah. And
So, she was mad at you for knowing her too well.
apparently, I thought it was a really good joke. Everybody else thought it was a really good joke. Everybody was laughing, and then
Was she laughing?
No,
Did you stop
No,
when
she
she
did.
was not laughing?
yeah, I think.
Or did you continue after she was not laughing? And you see, he's not even he's like half paying attention as he's putting in these wrinkled details.
Technically, Uza did stop. The rest of us did.
If I recall, now correct me if I'm wrong. Deadpool here. If I recall, I stopped making the jokes when she pulled me aside and got really pissy with me.
I was trying to stop him like that entire time. I was
Yeah, so
really
there
upset
was-
and trying to shush him, and
But
he
I
was
There
have,
was-
like,
I
you-
don't think
you-
I don't think Uza realized that though.
No, we can check the tape, but that's you would remember that you made more than one joke that she wasn't laughing at, and that was the question asked. So you
Oh,
did
okay.
keep going
Fair
after her.
enough.
She had indicated that she was uncomfortable, and so that's and you see so yeah that was more of his question was based around that.
Okay.
my character
okay,
made
fair
it
enough.
obvious that she was upset and uncomfortable.
Okay, fair enough. It's been a while. I played this whole Fire Knight guy since then, so.
No worries.
She was squirming and
you can always
really
check the
panicky.
video if you need.
I guess I got a couple extra in there. I don't know.
Did you
It's-
have fun?
I don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, to a certain point, and then when she pulled me aside, and I don't know. I just feel like I know why she's angry,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know why she's throwing our friendship away.
Oh,
I don't have many
If-
friends. I've got 4.
well, I have
3.
I have 2, but they are very close. And then you see he points over into the corner, and you see there is a lounging fairy made of fire.
Hey, I remember
kind of-
you.
she waves over and kind of she like flutters up, does like a little ballerina spin, and then bows, and then flops back down on this tiny chaise lounge.
But I mean,
Well, I
we've
know.
risked our lives. We've risked our lives for each other. We've done stupid shit for each other.
I understand
mean,
now.
hell.
You do not know how to fight as friends. That is all that is happening.
No, I mean, we're really good in battle. We just killed a king.
No, not fighting other things. You do not know how to disagree or fight with each other without seeing each other as still as friends. You instantly go to fighting someone as though they were an enemy. So she is fighting you as though you are an enemy, because that is the only way that she knows how to fight.
Yeah, exactly. She's just like, you know what? You made a few too many jokes. So, fuck our whole friendship. Fuck flying over the forest for the first time ever. Fuck me being one of the first nice people to you in Vernder that wasn't trying to take advantage of you. Fuck being the only compassionate person that you've met in your entire goddamn life beside your dead goddamn brother. Fuck all
No.
that because you made a goddamn joke.
Now, how many friends does she have?
Well, it's the same. It's, oh, maybe not me, but Visair, Bloodscale, Mesnos,
Okay, so I think you are
maybe
still friends.
Taz. Taz is really quiet though, but she's cool. I mean, she's hot. I mean, not in that way. She's
Literally
fire.
made of fire.
She's lit.
Absolutely lit. I don't know. I think fire can be a beautiful thing. All I would say is most friendships take more than claiming a friendship is over. Even there are friendships we wish were over and cannot make them over, and it does not sound like either one of you actually wants this friendship to be over. But again, you only know how to fight enemies and not friends, because you spend too much time fighting enemies, and you get into the mindset of destroy and take and kill rather than move forward, build, try something new. It took a lot of trust for me to, to get Efrena over there to trust me at all. Isn't that right, Efrena? And she kind of like, she smiles, and you see she flies over to his painting, and she starts to walk up the side, and then as she drags one toe as she goes and flies over the top of it, and burns a halo around the painting, and he's like, no, don't do that. I don't think he is dead. I think there's still a chance to find him, but she is right in the fact that are you saying he's dead to me? What is this? Friends.
Artistic
think she's so
symbolism,
funny.
man. It gets too heavy sometimes.
No, she is just trying to confuse me. You know, I see you get rises out of your friends occasionally, but it is a back and forth game to play. It is only by finding the sensitive areas do we learn how to avoid them. Isn't that right, little sprite? And he smiles as you see as he says sprite. She like crosses her arms, and she leans and she kind of gives him one of these. And then she gives him.
I'm guessing she doesn't dig that
I
nickname.
am proving a point to our friend, our new friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Anyway, you should decide what to paint and get started. It's I find often I start painting and the quiet behind my mind answers questions I did not know I was asking myself. Like how old my father was. You see he looks back to his painting and he's like, you see he starts to draw like a shirt, and then you see he kind of like smudges it out, and then he draws a breastplate. That is right. He wore armor. Of course he wore armor. And you see he starts to make like a little leaf tracing on the armor. That looks a little closer.
You should try adding a little charcoal right here for some good shadowing.
Oh no, that is, you know what? The shadow. I always forget the shadowing. That's and as he adds it, he's like, oh yeah, no, that really brings up the cheek here. It actually gives some depth to their face. That is right. He had stronger cheekbones than this, and he starts to bring up the cheekbones as you're pointing out places to shade in for him.
I have found it to be great to cover up my mistakes.
Well, if you cover them up and make them part of the whole, they are not mistakes then, right? They are a path to the perfect painting. And he goes over and he keeps working on it.
I'm going to go over and start painting mine. And I'm not going to use the paints provided.
Perfect.
Use the ones that I made last night, and I'm going to paint Mesnos's portrait.
Perfect. Okay. And then, so for this, I want you to, because of your conversations and everything like that, and I would like you to roll a calligraphy check at advantage, and then I want you to roll an extra d8.
Okay. So there's that one. And then there's the d8.
Perfect. So 15 total. And so.
Oh, can I use luck on that first roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is guidance too much?
No, guidance yourself if you like.
One of those. Gosh dang. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that 11.
Sure.
And I'm gonna get.
Alright, so 16.
Me.
That's okay. This is so this is not to me like the quality of the painting this time. So for flavor's sake, this is how well you translate the style and your feelings through the painting. So so out of 20, a 16 is really good. So what you're gonna while you're thinking about how you're painting this picture and how you're going to describe it, with 16, that's more than enough to add a lot of, basically at a full 20 or something, it would become more abstract than portrait. So this is going to be a portrait with extra details and things that are like subtle hints at the character that you see in Mesnos. So consider that when you're describing it and the background of it and how you want to paint the picture. That's all.
Perfect. Can you give me a thingy for it?
Sure.
Journal. Thank you. I'll start writing that out now.
All right. And then does anybody else want to do anything for this?
Is Wendell awake?
But this would be for the time when 8
gotcha,
hours while
okay.
he's unconscious.
Do I need to roll anything to tell how my song is coming along?
Yes, actually, I was going to ask you, how do you want to work on your song?
I don't know. My character has. Does my character have any? I think I
So
have an instrument of some kind on me.
You have your rings, so that you can make any
cool.
instrument sound. So but you'll still have to craft the melody and everything to imagine it out and that sort of thing.
I'm gonna sit and then play with my rings to find a really kind of like abstract but interesting choral kind of feel to it. Something very interesting. My main goal is to find something that the Kieran hasn't heard before but will still like.
Sure. Where do you want to work on this?
I don't know, wherever.
Okay.
I guess wherever. I guess we'll go back to where there was coffee.
Perfect.
Start messing around in
So-
that room. Someone politely asked me to go
So-
to another room.
The table was outside in front of the in front, and it was this big table that had coffee and everything on it. And just curious, Tazir, where are you during all of this? Are you eating? Are you in your room? What are you doing?
Eating.
Eating. Okay, so Tazir, is at the table, and you kind of sit down and you start kind of focusing on the rings and trying to bring out this new sound, and you see Sam. He kind of wanders over while you're. Did that disconnect and reconnect? Did you guys hear all that?
Yeah, there was a
just
little
had a stutter.
weirdness.
Think
Okay.
so.
That was weird. My USB disconnected and reconnected. So, as you're kind of fiddling with it, you see here Sam kind of wanders over and he just kind of sits and he starts to listen, and then he's like,
Perfect. Maybe you can tell me if there's some instruments that they play in the Feywild, maybe that people like around here that maybe that we don't even know about in the regular world.
I wouldn't say there's anything beyond the regular instruments, although I have been a long time since I've been to the material plane. Let's see. I know, depending on where you're at in the Feywild, like I know there are those who have the affinity for the bagpipe. Others with the sympathetic tones of I forget the instrument's name, but it's a. Sorry, this is the DM forgetting. There's an instrument. It's like a violin, but it has sympathetic strings that vibrate with it. It was used for the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Cool.
Sakura? No.
Fire.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
The lyre's more of a harp.
I don't know. I'm just naming things that are weird.
One second.
A
I know
lute.
exactly what you're talking about.
No idea.
And while Bloodscale is sleeping, I'm not gonna stay there the entire time while he's passed out. I'm gonna drag him to a bed.
A sarangi.
Sarangi.
Or no, sorry, the hardanger. So he's like, oh, we do have the hardanger fiddle, and it has sympathetic strings under it. Also the sarangi. Oh, sorry, wrong character. Also the sarangi. They tend to have background tones that play along with the instrument.
The Ferengi? Where?
Sarangi.
If you could play any of that for me, I might be able to replicate it with these rings, and that would help my composition. Could you just show me around? Maybe show me some of these instruments.
Of course. And he pulls out his hardanger fiddle. 1 second, see if I can actually share this with y'all. One moment.
One moment, please.
All right. So for this is gonna sound weird, but can you open the stream?
Okay.
Perfect. So this is gonna be the hardanger fiddle, and so he pulls out the instrument and he starts to pluck away.
Oh man, I'm not gonna actually compose this thing.
I know, just to get an idea.
Cool.
So you get an idea of that,
Yeah.
and then the sarangi. Oh, I'll skip over that since you didn't want me to go into too much
And
detail. about it.
copyright strike.
Yeah,
Right. And then but he plays these, and there's this beautiful like kind of back and forth between the sympathetic chords, like it's almost like 4 instruments are playing at the same time. And the sarangi is kind of this almost mournful tone to it as he plays it. The chords less in harmony and almost slightly discordant, but more in a minor chord rather than full discordant.
Cool.
And I hope that is of some help. What
Definitely.
are you hoping to achieve with the song?
Oh, for the Kirin, I'm hoping to, since it values beauty and you have to it has to want to be near you and everything. I thought we could make a song and sort of to help draw it to us, and then Uza's working on a painting, to give it as a gift, so that may open the door to its lair for us. And I just wanted to check on this. We're just gonna ask it to go to the thing, right? We're not gonna shackle it or anything, right?
That is entirely up to you. I believe.
Perfect.
Once you
Then we're
explain
not
its
gonna
purpose.
shackle it or anything.
No, I prefer that. The Kirin are not native to the Feywild. They are
really?
visitors. They usually are in the higher planes, more up in the heavens and things of that nature, and they visit lower planes such as the Feywild, or even occasionally your mortal realm, the material plane. And so having them as visitors is a rare treat, and even for one such as I. And the idea of hunting or containing it makes me sad.
Well, I'm with you there. Do you have an invite or anything you'd like me to pass on to it to let it know sort of what your intentions are?
Unfortunately, due to the nature of the hunt, since we'll be complying by the rules of the hunt, I am only allowed to provide you with a target. I'm allowed to provide nothing else beyond that, and some
and
information
so-
on the target.
We just need to show up at the place with the Kirin, though, right? Like
That's correct, yes.
And go. All right.
Yes,
Okay,
we are
cool.
basically winning the contest as they announce it.
Sounds good.
It is going to be fantastic.
Hopefully, it's got a good sense of humor. That might help us.
I wouldn't rely on that, but I do, and I'm going to enjoy myself.
Great. Me too. And I go back
So-
to like, I gotta work on this, and I start messing with the rings and the sounds and stuff some more.
As you are, like, he occasionally will be listening, and he pulls up his fiddle, and he'll like play a little bit with it, and then just kind of pause, and basically he's just kind of giving you these small, like bits of musical theme as gifts. You can take them or leave them, but with that, go ahead and do a performance check at advantage since he's assisting you.
Performance at advantage. Sorry, I forgot to hit advantage.
That's okay.
I can. Do I have? I have.
You have
which ones?
advantage?
There's. Oh, I have
So-
luck points.
Oh, okay, perfect. So,
Just one to reroll.
yep,
And then I can just do one reroll at advantage. Is that right?
that's correct. Yeah, because the reroll will be an advantage because you are using your. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, 22. That's good enough. And so it's at first it's starting to like it's a little too amorphous. It's too many broad tones, and then you find yourself kind of repeating this phrase that you're obsessed. Your brain just seems to latch onto, and it's sticking in and just getting in your way. And then Sam just drops this little continuation of it, and you're like, oh, and it's almost like a bridge to the next piece of music that you can now almost hear as you're making it. Tazir, you hear the song that has been, as you're eating, you're kind of munching on things as these two are playing back and forth. You heard all of the conversation, and then all of a sudden the music it seems to come together with this. It's all of a sudden seeming to complement and come together, and it becomes the music seems to fill the entire space of the grove as Visera keeps working on it, and it just becomes interwoven with the background sounds of nature that like almost birds are chirping almost in time with it as it's almost like mesmerizing the space that you're in.
Cool. Great. And then we can cut back to Zephyr if you want.
Perfect. Tazir, did you want to do anything?
You guys hearing this?
And as you gesture around, you see a deer kind of pull its head up, nods to you, and then continues to eat.
I wave to the deer.
It just keeps munching. Perfect. So, and then we'll go ahead and cut back to. So at this point, is there anything you wanted to do, Zephyr? While
Yes.
Bloodscale is
I did.
unconscious. Okay.
He's gonna be out for a while, and I know that much. And so I look over at myself. I'm like, can we maybe drag him to a bed and get him comfortable? He really beat himself up.
We can definitely try. Oh, wait a minute. And you see he closes his eyes and he's like, oh, I forgot. It's him that has the control. Yes. And so you two, can I get a strength check at advantage since Mesnos is helping you? right, 16, not bad at all. So you get the main bulk of him, and you guys are able to lift, drag, and you guys have to make a few stops with how heavy he is, but you did take him up to his normal room upstairs, and
About
since he is
80% of the way there, I look up at this, I'm like, this probably would have been easier in my orc form.
it's easier than doing it in my rat form, but my true form
Too
can
late
do this, no problem.
Too late now.
Too late now. You heave him up there, and you finally get you see Mesnos. He just kind of like sits down with his back to the wall, sliding down all the way till he's fully sitting just on the floor. He's like, I'll give him this. He's heavier than most.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna let the silence get awkward for a while before I just kind of slap my hands on my legs and go, all right, I'm gonna go see what Visera and everybody else is up to, because we gotta figure out how to catch this Karen, but I'll be back.
Okay, I'll keep an eye on Bloodscale.
Can you hear the earpiece when we're outside of the tower? I forget.
Don't think I can, but I will listen.
Well, I mean, if he wakes up or starts waking, or something changes, just walk out and let me know and I'll come back.
Of course.
So, I said, I'll update you later.
Alright, I look forward to it.
And I just bolt out. Awkward. And then I go check in to see what Visera and Tizir are doing. And
as you walk out, you are met with this beautiful music that seems almost otherworldly, with all of these notes being played in harmony. And again, you also notice that the sounds of nature seem to be woven into the tune as though they were written on a piece of paper and know when to come in.
I step up to Visera and I'm like, so what's going on?
I stopped playing music for a second. I go, oh, the Kieran, right? So we got to track it down. Turns out loves beauty, and gifting it art is like a good way to get in its favor, right? It's basically like the best creature ever. Like it cures diseases when you're near it and stuff. But I figured if we could make a song, kind of like bait it towards us, and then Uza's up there working on a painting to give it as like a gift. So he was pretty mad, so I was like, oh, use your anger, make a better painting. And it's apparently not even from the Feywild. It's like from another realm up above that. So
but you're talking about it like it's a dragon, like it's very intelligent.
Well, it's like beyond intelligent from what I can tell. It's like from a higher realm of existence. Apparently, it just visits the Feywild and visits where we're our realm as well. It's like even bigger and crazier than a dragon. I don't know if it's like physically larger. I just mean like, from that realm.
Okay, so I get all the deets from him, and then
Perfect.
I
is,
pull it all out of him. So I got the
super
seeking the key
intelligent.
rune paper.
Perfect. Yep.
And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can help, because never mind. I'm maybe I could help you with the song. I play the pan flute.
Sure, join on in. Here's what we've got so far, and then I start playing on the rings.
And then, as you pull out the pan flute, here's Sam's like, I love the pan flute.
Cut out.
You cut out.
He's like, I love the pan flute. If you want, and he reaches behind his back and he pulls out a pan flute of his own. But I'll follow your lead.
I nod as I'm playing.
Perfect. Go ahead and make a performance check. With advantage, because you're adding to a song that is being written. Perfect. And so the natural rhythm of the song and the complementary tones, you kind of recognize there's like a a select scale of background tones, and you kind of just find your way in the background of it. And then you notice that you can add this nice underlaying tone behind the main theme that Visair has going, and you just kind of create this musical bedrock for it, to this solid background with your pan flute, filling it in with this nice round sound. And you'll find yourself like ending a phrase, and then you'll hear in the distance a bird continue the phrase, and then you pick it up right where the bird left off.
That's fun.
Right, perfect. Anybody else want to be? Anybody else want to do anything else while they're waiting for Bloodscale to return to the conscious waking
I'm
world?
unconscious.
I'm good.
Perfect. Okay. So
I ask Visair, like, once there's a... I'm like, so... How mad was Uza?
I'm sorry, I really actually couldn't hear what you said.
So, how mad was Uza?
I was upset. He said that everyone always yells and is mean to each other, which, like, I think is unfair. I try to be pretty on kilter most of the time. But, you know, I've yelled at him, so, yeah, I tried to make it positive and, you know, have him work it out through the painting. What's that?
I wasn't angry, I was upset. And
He's upset with
embarrassed.
all of us. I mean, probably you too. I mean, yeah, but, like, you know.
I felt
He's young.
humiliated. I didn't mean to lash out like that. I
He
don't
just doesn't-
deal with humiliation well, okay?
I'm sorry you felt humiliated. None of us really meant to humiliate you. And, like, in our eyes, you're still, you know, the Zephyr you've always been. You're still, you know, we
Was
like you.
that
You're a
obvious?
party. What's that?
Was it that obvious to everybody?
I didn't think it was before, but the minute the joke landed, it kind of became obvious, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, we're just razzing you. Just trying. I didn't. No one meant to cause you harm and make you feel like you're seen differently at all. You know, like that humiliation. Like, it really wasn't our goal, and he doesn't understand what it's like to have that happen to him, right? Like, he's a youngin'. He's working through it. Although I do think if you wanted to drop some kind words, it might help him out. I think you're kind of his emotional support.
Alright, well, I'll bow out for a minute, but I'll come back and help you with the song more.
Sure. Yeah. It's a good thing.
So I bow out and I try to find Uza.
perfect. So as you head in, you notice that there's a new spiral staircase heading downward, and you kind of know that since it builds rooms out of requirement, you get the idea that he's probably in this new place. And as you head down, the music from Visair kind of falls away into the background, and so you can't really hear it anymore. And it's almost like nature sounds are distilled in here. Like it's this very calm space, and you almost feel it calming you as you walk down into this room. The door has been left open, not even thought to be closed. As you see Uza, he's kind of staring. As you enter the room, you see in one corner there is Elofir, and he's got this portrait of an aged Furbolg. And you see he's filling it out, and he's doing it just purely in black and white to get the shape of it. But you see he's moving pretty quickly now. He's got most of the armor of this Furbolg in full plate mail, and he's filling in the hair, and then he at the end of it he takes a look at it, and he adds just these you see he started to add smile lines, and he's like you hear him just slowly to him softly to himself, that's what I was saying, he smiled all the time. And then you see there's a halo over the head of the figure, and then you see Uza in the corner. He's got Uza, are you painting with brushes?
A combination of brushes and my own quills.
Perfect. So you see Uza, you see there's in paints there's several quills sticking out of several different pots of of paint, and unlike some have been dipped for fine lines, you see others have been used the large end of the feather to add specific patterns over, and then you see, you look up and he's painting this a painting, and instantly you recognize it as Mesnos. And then Uza, if you want to describe the painting nearing completion.
Sure. It's not too large. It's actually probably about a little bit like half a computer monitor, depending on how crazy you get with your computer monitors. But the portrait is set on a bright green background. Lush leaves and foliage abound all around him. Sun peers in from above over his right shoulder, basking him in light, though he seems to be cast in shadow. Some of his features are hard to see. The details on his clothing are shaded, but the purple matches his skin exactly. His left hand clutches a book that casts its own shadow, darkness stretching out from it. And in his right hand sparks eldritch magic. His face is serious at first glance, stern, but his eyes are softer, showing the worried look that Uza saw when Zephyr was taking the sleeping draft in turn. And Uza's currently working on getting the shading just right.
So I was starting to open the door until I saw that, and then I hesitate, but the door does open a little bit. Maybe it squeaks. I don't know. That's up to you, DM.
I have a passive of like 23, 21.
The door, Uza left the door open, so the door has been completely open. So
Wide open?
Oh yeah.
wide open, so it's completely wide open. So you can see all of this without making any noise or opening a door at all.
Oh, I just kind of stand there for a minute.
Perfect. And as you're standing, you see he's kind of moving, like not frenzied quick, but like this determined quickness. Like he's moving with a good amount of certainty now. And you see he's he keeps adding details that you're like, you're sure the next one is going to be a mistake, because there's no way it could get any better. No, it did get better. It's getting more and more lifelike as he goes, and all of his decisions seem like he knows what it's going to be, and he's just making it happen in front of you.
Now I feel awful, and I don't want to talk to him, so I kind of like try to back away from the light a little bit and see if I can sneak back without
Okay.
anybody noticing I was there.
Roll a stealth check.
Oh shit.
16,
that was advantage.
You said your passive was what?
It's 21, but I mean I am concentrating on something. You want me to roll a disadvantage?
No, I was gonna say with a passive of 21, I'm just gonna have you roll a straight check.
Okay. Make sure that's normal.
Since you took the roguish proficiency in it, I feel like 20. Yeah, you know. You hear somebody at the. So as you don't hear somebody come to the door, but then you hear footsteps. Like you hear the first step, the slide of a foot away from the door, and at first you're like you're not really concerned, and then you recognize it. You're like, that is definitely the foot of a tiefling. It is definitely Zephyr.
Without looking away from the painting, I'm just going to say kind of over my shoulder, it's almost done. You can tell Vicer that I'm going to work on his project here in a few minutes.
Uza, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure. Give me 1 second here. I want to finish up this last thing before this dries. And there's a bit on his horn that while the paint is still wet, I'm just going to drag my thumb across it, giving this.
I am visibly wincing at this. Like, every word is just making me feel like more of a shithead.
And then,
This almost fading away effect from one of his horns.
and then you see at that point, Ilofir is like, he gets up and he stretches, and he kind of like, you hear this crack, crack, crack as he pops his neck, and he's like, Elefrain, I think it is time for a breath of fresh air. I can't stare at this any longer. And he just kind of walks past you. And as he goes to walk forward towards you, the door is suddenly wide enough for him to just walk right past you without even obscuring or touching you in any way, shape, or form. And you see the little fairy fly after him, and she like flows over to your face and then kind of looks at you, and she smiles to herself and then flies after him.
Thanks, Elfir.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for the I don't know, whatever you did. This is very good.
It's a little bit of
Keeps walking.
So I step in at this point, I close the door, and I just very, very slowly start inching closer, and like the look on my face is pure agony and pain.
Yeah, I know. I think it's a little too gloomy too.
No, that's not it. That's perfect. And flushing. Like that's not what I came here to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah, no, I know I'm supposed to be working on the keyrin, but I couldn't, and not to
No.
sound like one of those weird artists, I couldn't get in the headspace, man.
Uza, not that either. Crap. Shit, I'm bad at this. And I'm like so agitated. She's pacing now. She's just kind of like pacing in place, and she's like fumbling with her fingers, and she looks like she might even be breaking out a sweat.
I'm going to notice all this movement, and I'm going to move my painting supplies and all that and swatch away from the painting,
Perfect.
just in case extra movement happens. I don't want other paint to be on top of my paint.
Uza, would you stop for a minute and look at me, please?
Yeah. What's up, Zephyr?
Look, I may have overreacted last night, but I wasn't angry, and I'm looking away. Like I told him to look at me, and now I'm looking away.
Want to do that awkward thing where you just kind of move into their line of sight?
He looks at me, and then I just can't keep my face looking at him. I'm hanging my head and kind of looking away, and I'm just like.
The ashamed child look.
The shame child look, yes. That
I
exactly.
thought I was the child.
I know, right? But she's emotionally retarded and constipated, so yeah, so she says, look, I know I reacted in anger last night. That wasn't about you. That was me, like my fault. I didn't think anybody knew. I thought it was some big secret, but I guess everybody had an inkling, and I'm just oblivious. Okay, this isn't coming out right. I'm sorry. I wasn't angry. I was upset and embarrassed and really humiliated, and I spent the better part of my youth just in pure humiliation, having people use everything I cared about against me, thinking I would have something to hold, and then having it ripped away. And I guess because I don't handle humiliation well. And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I didn't mean for it to be humiliating. It was supposed to be a fun joke. Like we didn't talk about it in detail after it happened, but as soon as boom, Mesnos is in this tiefling form, it was like, oh, thank God, him and Zephyr can get rid of this sexual frustration.
No!
You know, you guys.
No!
Look,
No!
It's look. It's nothing to be ashamed about. Okay, you guys have a connection, and that's great.
He doesn't like me like that. Are you kidding?
Oh, okay, that's fine.
He's my father's friend. Like that. Oh, shit. God, like that's why I didn't want anybody
Weird uncle
knowing.
territory.
Okay.
Oh god, this exact story's on Pornhub right now.
Congratulations,
No,
we got our first fan
ew.
art. No.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll see you on Tumblr.
Oof.
God.
At least it wasn't
Alright.
deviant art.
Not yet.
Oh. Okay. Look,
Look,
it's,
you go first. And I'm hesitantly
get it.
kind of looking up and
I get it, Zephyr. You were the butt of a joke, but that was just it. It was a joke. We made fun of you because we love you.
like I said, I didn't know everybody knew. And I didn't know I was being that obvious in front of him. And, like, I don't feel like that towards... I haven't felt like that towards people. I mean, like, not really. Yeah, there was the fling with the tiefling lady, but, like, we just kissed. And I was really drunk, so I
Insight
wasn't
check.
quite sure of what I was doing.
Go and roll an insight check. And now, whisper me whether you're trying to persuade or deceive Zephyr, and then let him know.
How do I do that?
So just change at the top of your character sheet. You'll see.
Just do it in
good
Blizz
luck.
chat, it's easier.
Oh yeah, you can just do
Yeah, I
that.
won't
And
look
then
at yeah.
you can roll your. If you have a d20, you can just roll it and add your modifier and let me know. But for future reference, you'll see at the top of your sheets, they'll see public and then 2GM. If you guys ever want to send me a secret roll or anything, click the 2GM button, and that'll send it just straight to me, and then I can use those.
And what do I roll?
So you choose whether you're trying to deceive or persuade, basically deception or persuasion, and then let me
I
know
did.
the roll. Perfect.
Oh, and how do I private roll?
You can just send it to me on Blizz chat.
Oh god, that's the weirdest noise.
Or at the top of your sheet, if you want to hit 2GM and then just click the saving throw. That
Gotcha. Okay.
perfect. She seems like she's telling the truth. It was just kind of exactly what she was saying.
Well, I mean,
I
Look, I'm
like
not- I'm
him.
not-
Like him. Okay. Like that. I don't feel that way. That's and like he doesn't feel the same. Like, what if he never feels that way, and what if I'm just destined to be alone?
you're really concerned to have mutual feelings for someone who doesn't have that feeling.
What?
Cut out
You
of it.
cut out a lot.
He said you're
Oh, sorry.
worried. You seem
You're-
very worried about
you're,
having.
You're awfully. Yeah, sorry. You're really worried about Mesnos sharing these feelings and then say you don't have these feelings. I'm just saying. Look, I'm not going to judge you one way or the other. It's fine.
I haven't had these like. All right, I really like him.
It's beautiful.
Who's
thing.
the 8-year-old now?
I don't know what to
Are
do.
you kidding? She's 13, clearly.
I hope to God no one here.
This is some middle school shit. This ain't that
This
Oh,
is
high
it
school
really
shit.
is.
amazing.
It really is.
Oh my
Having a
god, are we
wonderful
playing
time.
cards?
Yes.
You are. You didn't
Yeah.
know,
Monster
but you
Hearts?
are.
We are.
Oh god,
I'm actually a werewolf. Surprise.
I knew it. I'm actually a bird person.
Damn!
Good person.
I've been the most deadly creature of all. Human.
Human. Damn it. Okay.
Look, we're. I'm not gonna. I won't bring it up again. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making that joke, and to be 100% honest, I kind of forgot Mesnos also had a stone. So I thought you were just gonna hear it. So that's my bad. And
Do I believe that?
Insight check. And then give me your secret roll.
Oh, whoops. I forgot to
yep,
secret.
gotcha.
Not you.
Right there.
Yeah, he's
the other way
seems
around
telling
this
like
time.
Seems like he's telling the truth. Yeah, he genuinely forgot that Mesnos was part of that, and he seems to be telling the exact truth.
Okay. Like, You were loud enough without the ears, but
Yeah, and then that doesn't excuse like the second part when we were as a group, and I kind of got just caught up. It was a long day.
you know,
We found some funny part of it, and I latched on. Look, the point is, I'm sorry too, and I just don't want. My biggest problem with all of that was it was really hurtful for you to just throw out our friendship based on a bad joke. And I'm gonna take. I kind of took a page out of Vicer's book on this one, and just added the. Just realized that you weren't really gonna stop being my friend over something like that. So I wanted to paint this for you because you asked for it, and I've got his rat form too. It's a little bit smaller, but it kind of works because he was a little bit smaller.
I kind of giggled at that, and then I carved literal pieces out of me to make that, and I point at the bonsai tree pendant that I gave him. You see this, and I show him my horn, like literally missing a piece of my horn.
And it is.
That's what the
missing
tree's
a
wrapped around.
significant groove.
I did this to keep you safe, and so that I would know where you are if I lost you. And I really care about you too. Not like that, but I really care about you too. And
Did I just get shot down before even trying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Middle school.
No, yeah, no, it's.
I wouldn't have
I
given
wa- I
that to
wasn't-
you if I meant that. Like, you would have to basically be working for Menelephus for me to hate you.
That's the guy we have to kill.
Yeah,
No, I'm not gonna do that.
that's the guy that
told
gave
you
me
I'd-
a lot of flawed traits that I still. God, I feel so weak sometimes. Okay, like it feels like I'm trying to play catch up to over a decade. Well, yeah, that's pretty accurate actually, but it feels like I'm playing catch up to everybody. Like I'm just some immature child. So maybe that's why I like you so much, because you're learning too, okay? But I would never have given that to you if I ever to stop being. I said that in anger, and I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like I said, I figured
No,
it
it's
way
not.
before.
Because
Yeah, it
you
is.
thought I was serious, and well,
I have. I don't know. It's the past. Look, made you. I finished the favor that you asked of me. You're here apologizing, being all emotionally mature.
Did he say mature, immature?
He said, "What did you say?"
Mature.
Okay.
I did say mature.
Okay.
Emotionally mature. Ilafir told me a really great thing. We don't know how to fight as friends.
I mean,
think it's just something we need to work on.
and rough each other up, right? I mean,
No.
Scale stabbed me, and we're
I
still
kind
friends.
of brought that up too, and he's like, "No, that's how you fight enemies. You guys just don't know how to fight as friends." And I think this is part of fighting as. I don't know. He's not here right now. I'd ask him.
I don't know, maybe I should ask him too. I have no clue. You guys, like, and this troop, the Dawnforged company, like, this was the first real family I've had since Ronat. And, like, even with the druids, I didn't fit in. I did some things, and everybody knew about those things when I was in hell. Because she had to tell the elders and slips and all that. So I was an outcast to everyone, but she was the only one that saw me as truly worthy. I mean, I had some people I could talk to, but not really as friends.
Well, now you do. Now we got to be better about it. And I think in the future, we should always bring this up to Vicer first. I think he is the only one that has not screamed at someone and then shouted off and stormed off somewhere.
Oh no,
I think I
definitely
need
have.
to take some more cues from Tazir. Like, she seems
Definitely
really
yes.
calm for fire.
Really chill.
Yeah,
Chill.
yeah, oddly enough.
I like to bottle it up.
That's been blood scale for like 15 episodes.
So funny talking to you guys about your characters between episodes. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and wrap that little scene here. It's 9:30, and I know we all have to be getting to bed and everything, so we're going to go ahead and end the session
I
there.
just want to mention
yeah.
one thing.
Sure.
The moment when Bloodscale wakes up, it's a continuation of the fuck that he had in the dream.
Okay, perfect. So we'll pick it up with your waking up and screaming into the void. Perfect. So thank you all for watching. Again, this stream is well, it's not supported by. We run the DM Emporium. By we, I mean me and my wife. So if you want to check out the DMEmporium.com, it's just DMEmporium.com. And then we've got a bunch of dice, shirts, tunics, drinking things. Like we have Viking horns to drink out of, and we just added a bunch of jewelry.
I have, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
We've added some jewelry recently, including like dragon earrings that glow in the dark and all sorts of fun little things like that.
Pennies, rain, calligraphy tool.
Yep, calligraphy tools, all sorts, even including stamps to do authentic like wax sealed envelopes and things for your players,
man.
or if you want to create like
How
a really
cool
cool
would that be?
letter
Right?
for
You want to start your game? That's how you start your game. You get
Yeah.
4 letters, seal them with
Wax
wax.
sealed.
All your friends who are too cool to play suddenly show up.
Oh,
Bam.
yeah. Nobody's too cool for a wax sealed envelope. All right,
That's
so with that,
True.
it's absolutely true. And then we're adding minis as we find them, and so there should be some more that are up, and added some really cool dice lately, especially if you're looking for metal dice, which I'm a big fan of metal dice. But anyway, we do thank you for watching. We'll continue with the Dawnforged company next Tuesday. If you want to catch me as a player, I will be playing with the Featherfall tabletop guys tomorrow, Wednesday. It's going to be 6:30 Pacific time. I will be playing a Spore Druid named Ondros. He is a Loxodon, and he is the meat shield. So we're playing through the Dead in Thay little thing, and it's going to be brutally difficult. So you should tune in and watch me die. It'll be a great time. Other than that, I thank you all for watching. Hope you have a beautiful rest of today, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Oh boy!
Did we end yet?